Kia ora, everybody, and welcome to the Yes and charity stream. This isn't the actual charity stream, though. We're just here for a good old warm-up game with Group 3. My name is Penny D. I am the host of the Yes and charity stream, and this year, because I have, some backstage influence, I actually got myself a group to DM. So I'm going to be the DM of Group 3. Say hi, Group 3.
Hello.
Hello.
Kia ora.
Why don't each of you, just one at a time, introduce yourselves, and then when we've done that, we will start playing some Dungeons and Dragons. All this preamble can just be done with. Who's gonna go first?
I know, it's everyone looking at
The
themselves.
tension.
I'll go. Hello, everybody. I'm Severin. I am a cast member on the Fate of Eisen, Kiwi D&D podcast. I've been playing the Dungeons and Dragons for, I think, just over 4 years, and I'm happy to be here. Excited for some psychological violence.
Kia ora, everyone. My name is Harris Dowson. I am one half of Spells and Dragons, an after-school program running D&D games for kids, and I'm also a player on the Lost Cause podcast, New Zealand D&D podcast. I am very excited to be here with all of these fun people to play some fun D&D.
Hello, everyone. My name is Veeple or Veeps. I am not as excited about the psychological terror that we're going to be facing, but I am excited about being a part of the Yes and D&D live stream because I think it's for a awesome cause. I've played tabletop role-playing games for a bunch of years now, and I'm really excited to be a part of this.
And I'm Lisa or Chesh. Been playing D&D for a good few years now. Big cosplayer, big nerd. I'm really excited to be a part of Yes and this is my first year taking part. And yeah, that's me.
Well, I don't know where you guys got this idea about psychological horror from. I certainly didn't announce that, and if it was psychological horror, I wouldn't have announced it. So, both of those facts together can tell you, guarantee that's not what we're going to be doing. Should we play some Dungeons and Dragons, guys?
Hell yeah.
Why not?
Let's do it.
What is justice? I often ask myself this question during moments of the night where sleep becomes but a dream. What is it inside us that dares to assume that the correct way of existence is people getting what they deserve? In a city like Ludus and Luthor, where the wicked sit at the top and the innocent but beg for scraps, where even the magic and the water are packaged and sold to those foolish enough to believe they are entitled to it. What is justice? The mayor and his band of yes men, breathing clean air from atop their glass spires. I know they do not know justice. The mob, with all the resources in one pocket and the cops in the other. I know they do not know justice. Everyday normal Lucens, overworked, underpaid, and scared to leave their homes at night. I'm ashamed to say, I know they do not know justice. Perhaps this is why I find it so very peculiar that at 6 p.m. every Wednesday, for as long as anyone in Lowtown can remember, people gather at a small basement bar named Tonight's Special. They gather to hear one another out, to lend a hand, to solve a problem, to right a wrong. The people in this bar, were they chasing glory? Would have gone elsewhere. Were they chasing riches? They would have sold out their values long ago. Were they seeking redemption? Well, take it from me. There is no redemption in Ludus and Luthor. What is justice, dear friends? Quite simply, when all else is lost, justice is the most valuable, most terrifying thing this choking gray city can muster. Justice is hope. You may now applaud if that's what you want to do.
That was
Oh,
great.
goosebumps.
Thank you very much.
Yep, goosebumps.
I wanted to write a noir monologue because I want to encourage you all to write noir monologues. This is your chance to know that I, as a DM, if you would like to do a noir monologue at any point and you nail it, you will receive inspiration. That is a deal from me to you.
Okay.
We fade in on the grayscale interior of tonight's special. People are gathered amongst booths, sitting around tables. Drinks are being poured. The glowing blue jukebox whines a crackling jazz tune, but the mood is somber. There is no merriment tonight. There is only pain and the promise of help. I would ask each of you, one at a time, to introduce your characters, tell us their name and the following information. Firstly, what do they look like? Describe them, paint us a word picture. Where are they in the bar and what are they drinking? And lastly, what were they doing tonight before they came to tonight's special? I can just pick on people if we don't want to decide an order. Chesh, you go first.
Well, my name is Ashranti Embers, and I am a fire genasi that has white hair that goes down to yellow to orange to red. Um, Somewhat sort of actually looks like it is glowing in the grayscale of the spa. Um, Wearing a leather jacket that has the cutoffs and obviously with her arms showing, got some wraps on her arm. Looks like she got a police baton hanging from her hip. Um, she's probably sitting at the bar, leaning back with a round glass of round ice cube sitting in the glass with just something strong sitting in it, having a chat with the bartender, looking out at the bar. Before this, she was training with her daddy down at doing some sparring and some boxing.
Rightio. Thank you very much for that. Ashanti? Is that right?
Ashranti. Or Ash to
Ashranti.
make it easier.
Cool. Veeps, let's hear you.
Mortimer sits in a dark booth, facing the door. He's not very descript, but he has messy hair. Unusually, he wears sunglasses inside in this dark area. He wears a business suit, loosely fitted, and his shirt underneath has got its top two buttons undone. He looks, watching everyone. Before he came to tonight's special, he was following up on a lead about a mystery about his old friend. And he waits for his partner, Severinus.
That's very cool. Thank you very much. Hang on, I'm just pasting our character tokens into the chat so people can get a good look at this. But clap, 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 clap. I'm loving this so far. Severin, let's hear what you got.
Oh, hello. So character is called Delphanius, or Delph for short. People would know him as that, anywhere between acquaintance to mortal enemy. He is an astral elf with the dark grey complexion of an old newspaper. Clever pointed eyes staring out, and a large Tom Selleck-style mustache. Either side are pointed ears that point up optimistically towards the sky, and he wears a large, almost like Soviet-style overcoat in any kind of climate. People have seen him wearing this in just the beating sun in like the middle of summer. And before this, he was meeting an informant, following up on leads as a private detective down by whatever kind of waterfront Luda
There is a
kind of
river.
has.
There is a river here.
Then down by the river, talking to some of the river dock workers. that I'm sure smuggle all kinds of definitely legal goods in and out of Ludus. And he'd be
Oh no, carry on. Sorry, I didn't realize you weren't done.
oh no, and he'd be sitting in the booth next to Mortimer.
All right, so you guys are here together.
Yes, so he'd just be. I'd imagine there'd be a table in the middle of the booth, and so he'd be on the other side of the table with his back to the door.
Cool. And last but certainly not least, Harris, why don't you introduce us to your character?
McCloud is the saddest kobold you have ever seen. He is 2 foot tall. He is the runt of his litter. He is a purple and white with curdled yellow eyes. Several of his sharp teeth are either cracked or missing. He has a mop of curly brown hair on his head, which is not a wig. It's not a wig. It's a sign of nobility for the kobold people. He wears a leather vest, which has been patched 20 times over Hessian shirt and pants, no shoes. He cannot afford them. The one thing that does stand out on him is he is wearing a necklace of an octopus, but the octopus's eyes are both disco balls. And he wears, no, I apologize, he is wearing shoes. He's wearing giant platform disco heel shoes.
Now, what's the footage on those platforms?
That's a great question.
Because he's only 2 feet tall, so like anything is like a significant percentage of his total height.
Is it too much to say 2 foot? I think it's pretty funny if his platforms are the same size as he is, but I think that that's too tall.
That's basically stilts.
It's pretty funny.
That's very funny. I'm into it. Anything
right,
else you'd
he
like to
has-
tell us about Mo?
He has giant stilt heels. Mo, before tonight, was wandering the city searching for old newspapers, for he wants to be a newsie, but no one will employ him, so he stands on corners talking about headlines from weeks ago from whatever newspaper he can find. And in this bar, he is skulking around trying to find drinks that have been left behind that still have some liquid in them for him to drink, for he has no way of purchasing drinks himself.
That was a fun one to end on. I love all your characters. I love how much you've embraced the setting that we've sort of thrown at you. So well done, everyone.
Do you have one question?
Yeah.
From the game, the other warm-up game, there was just one clarification I'd like to make, and whether that still stands, and whether I would already know technically A, the head bartender, and 2, whether the free drinks forever thing stands for me still, because that was what was guaranteed
If
as a part
Holt
of the
told
last
you you
thing.
could have free drinks forever, then you have free drinks forever.
Cool.
Who was the
Clarify.
head? Who was the head bartender that you met with?
His name was Mr. K.
Yep, that's still canon. That is still
Cool.
correct. What was the
Cool.
other thing?
That was the only. Those were the only 2 things I wanted.
Would you mind if I make a small amendment, which is Mr. K said free drinks forever, but once you start becoming a mess, he's gonna get he'll send you away.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah.
not like drink yourself to death every single night, but you can
Yeah.
come here and be perfectly happy.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
still gonna keep the liquor license. You
Yeah.
know, like I can't.
yeah. She
Yeah.
wouldn't be that kind of person anyway, so you'll be fine on that.
Okay, my next
Cool.
question is so Delphanius and Mortimer know each other. Mo and Ash, do either of you know Delphanius and Mortimer, or do you know each other?
I
I'm
don't
easy.
think so.
Okay. I think this is one of those things. I just got omu rice, which is like rice with an
Ooh.
omelet on top of
That
it.
looks amazing.
Ooh, does look
It,
very
it's
good.
gonna
Right.
be amazing. I'm gonna like lightly pick at that as we play. So if you see me eating, please just role play until I finish chewing. Okay.
And another
Um,
monologue.
Oh no, this one will be shorter. That other one was a monologue. This is just DM talking. Let's make sure we separate those 2 things. You've all been coming here for a while. You're used to seeing some wild stuff, but what you're not used to seeing is what you're not used to seeing is once famous disco starlets getting up on stage to beg for help. And that is exactly what happens next. A pair of high-heeled shoes clop loudly across the wooden floor, and a fashionable dress swooshes up the stairs to the podium. You've not seen her on a billboard or heard her sing in the better part of 2 decades, probably. maybe close to 15 years, but there's no mistaking a tiefling like Fawn Foxwell when she's standing right in front of you. I'm told that this is a place where a dame can find some help. My wife hasn't come home in 3 nights, and I need someone smart and strong to bring her home for me. Now, the normal run of things is that this is a bit of a bidding situation. What happens is people who want to work, people who want to do good deeds, come to tonight's special. People who need help get up on stage and ask for help, and those who seem interested basically put up their hand or make some show of beckoning the job giver over. So I'll let you guys handle the next part.
Yeah, Delphin's just gonna say, Mort, what do you think? Should we help him?
Does seem interesting.
Does
Why don't we see who else is interested?
Sound good. We'll hang back.
We'll play it cool.
Exactly. Don't want to be too easy.
If you're looking for the intelligent and strong type, I'm your man.
Well, thank you very much, little one. What's your name?
My name is Mo McCloud.
Mo McCloud, I think this might be a job for maybe more than one. I was thinking 5, but given the amount of people who turned up tonight, 4 might have to do.
Probably about that point, I would be walking up behind Mo, having a couple of drinks of the same type that I have. Put one down in front of Mo because I probably would have been seeing with like him trying to scavenge for drinks. Would have put one in his hand and put the same one in her hand.
Now,
He ain't alone, honey.
Well, ain't you just a tall glass of water? What's your name?
Ashranti, Embers, and yourself?
I think
I
you
don't
know.
believe that we've met.
I think you know who I might be, but for the sake of pleasantries, and she holds out her hand, but like not for a handshake, they're like, for you to kiss the back kind of thing, and she says, Fawn Foxwell, at your service.
She'll absolutely kiss her hand, like
Woohoo.
being very like, probably being coy and like pretending like she doesn't know who she is, and she's just a hot girl that's walked into the bar,
Yeah,
looking for help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's definitely past her prime. She's definitely in her 50s. She's taking care of herself very well, but she's still, got the signs of crow's eyes and like tieflings age quite well, but there's a little bit of signs that she is in her 50s, which makes sense given that she was famous around 15 years ago.
Oh, that makes sense. I think actually that makes more sense now. I think because she was like a pop star, right? Basically.
Yeah, she was a disco starlet. So she was
starlet.
like she was kind of like our equivalent of a pop star.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. I believe that my daddy used to play your music at the gym. Get
Well,
them ramped up.
your daddy's got good taste.
I thank you for the drink. I cannot believe you don't know Fawn. She is a star in every right and always will be. Disco will never die, baby.
She runs her fingers lightly like underneath your dragon jaw, and lets one linger for a moment, and says, "I like you. You definitely are part of the crew."
Yeah.
And she like
Whoa.
sachets over to the corner, where there's an empty booth. It's actually the one right next to 2 people sitting in the dark, watching this situation, which is Delphanius and Mortimor. So it's the booth next to the 2 of yours. And basically she just walks over there like expecting the 2 of you to follow.
After you. Sorry, what was your name?
Mo McCloud. Thank you for the drink.
No worries.
Do
Put
I
out
know
a
you?
hand. I don't know. Do you?
Oh, you just kind of suggested like I do, and I meet a lot of people in this city. I'm a pretty big mover shaker. It's hard to keep up and keep track with everyone. But if I have, I apologize. If I haven't, pleasure to meet you. And I'll reach up, I assume, to
Yeah,
shake your hand.
Yeah. She'll put her hand down, obviously, to shake it. And it's not just like a gentle shake, like it is like a good like grasp, like
You lift
there
me
was
off the
like this
ground.
gentleness between like the way that she was treating Fawn, and then like with you it's like a 180 of like showing that like the strength, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'd say you could if you want to lift Mo off the ground. He is very weak.
Delphanius and Mortimer, why, like, so Fawn Foxwell has gone to sit in a booth and she's sitting there quietly, sipping this drink that she's been handed. For the time being, the two people who went up and talked to her are busy talking to each other and trying to out intimidate each other, doing handshakes. There is a moment here for you to address Fawn yourselves if you want to. And if
Okay.
you don't, you could just stay at the bar while we do an adventure. That's okay too.
Perfectly legit.
Mortimer,
I'll go.
Mortimer will lean forward towards Delphanius and say, "Doesn't look like there's anything else exciting happening tonight. May
Yeah,
as well see if she needs our help too.
I feel like we
And it
should
could
jump
lead
in.
to, it could give us some more leads because I've hit a dead end.
That kobold looks accident prone. We should probably do something.
Kobolds usually are."
Okay. And then Delphanius is gonna lean back like, Miss Foxwell, don't turn around, don't look at me, don't draw any unnecessary attention. We might
She
be able to
doesn't.
help you.
She just runs a finger, like lightly around the edge of the glass. She doesn't respond, but you can kind of make out that she is listening just from her body language.
Let me tell, I loved your music back in the day. Work All Day, Funk All Night was one of the first cassette tapes that I played in my old Cadillac, rest her soul. You're saying your wife has been missing for 3 days, was it?
That's right. Why don't you come on over and sit next to me if you want to be a part of this? I don't like talking to people sitting behind me. I like to know who I'm working with.
Oh, there'll be time enough for introductions, I'm sure. When was the last time you saw your wife? Where was your wife the last time you saw her? You can tell
At this-
Delphanius is getting a bit nervous.
Yeah.
He's not used to being confronted like this when he's
at-
trying
at-
to be mysterious.
At this point, Ash and Mo both make their way over to the table as well. And both of you can see that she is speaking to someone behind her. So like she's sitting and she's talking and she's facing you guys. But her eyes are, off to the side and she's addressing these two shady looking guys behind her who you would recognize as being regulars here. Maybe you've never talked to them before, but they also are people who pick up jobs and seem to have a good reputation for passing us. Well, actually, would that be right? Would you guys have a good reputation for passing assistance here?
I think individually would have a pretty good track record, and then this is one of the few times that we've joined up into a recently formed detective agency.
Oh, cool.
Hmm.
Okay.
And I guess we would recognize Ash and Mo if they're regulars as well.
The canon that I'm assuming here is that you've all come here individually. Each of you have taken anywhere between 1 to a dozen jobs in the past, accomplished them, got paid, and left. So, at the very least, you may have seen each other here. It would be very unlikely that that you would never have seen someone, seeing a kobold walk around on huge platform shoes, like sipping the dregs of other people's drinks is not something that you tend to forget about. So, my guess would be you're all aware of each other, even if you've never worked together. Does that seem fair?
Mo will lean over, like after walking over to the booth, see that conversation's happening, and then lean over to the booth and go, "Hey, fellas, there's seats over on this side. There's a lot of room if you want to come and." It just seems like a difficult way to have a conversation, you know?
And I would probably like be like with that, and like, so if like she's sitting here and you're sitting here on the booth, I'd be sort of standing sort of nearby, so like I'm looking at her but then looking over so I could like see the top of your head versus whoever's like whichever way you guys are sitting at. It's like, yeah, I've seen you two skulking around. I think you guys have also been to my daddy's establishment. You seem like reputable types. Why don't you just join us for a seat, and why don't we have just a proper chat and see what Miss Fawn actually needs rather than talking through walls.
Well,
Sounds
my
good.
friend, seems that sometimes you take a job and sometimes a job takes you. He's gonna get up and just go around the corner of the booth and just plonk back down, looking rather grumpy and perturbed.
Well, now that we're all friends here, I suppose I can answer any of your questions. The job that I'm paying for, which I'll pay well, is I need y'all to go up to the reservoir, find my wife, and bring her back to me.
How do you know she's in the reservoir?
That's a good question. It was about 3 days ago that we had a conversation that became heated. She recently took a trip up there, and while she was there, she swore that she saw her son. Now, her son disappeared 15 years ago. He was on a camping trip, and he never came back, you see. And it's something that always sat with her, and it always was something that caused her a lot of pain. She's my she's my former manager, and we fell in love on tour, but it is something that she never quite healed from. I went to all of her usual haunts. I went to the bars that she likes to go to. I went to the men and women whom she likes to spend time with. None of them seen her. Means she must have gone up to the reservoir to look for him.
Seems like this reservoir is a good lead.
If anyone would like to know anything about the reservoir, go ahead and roll me a history check. The DC is going to be 14.
Ooh.
Absolutely.
Give it a go.
Oh.
Oh yeah, boy.
That's
Oh
two
yeah,
passes.
boy.
Okay.
Okay, history buffs.
Negative. Right.
Don't worry about
Okay. So Ash and Delphanius, both of you have lived in Ludus and Lusor a long time. You can see in the map that we're all looking at, in the top left corner, the northwest corner, there is the Great Ludus and Lusor Dam. It's been there for about 60 years. The reservoir is the lake that the dam holds back. So it's just outside of the city. It's not a place where people go often. It can be traveled to from Lowtown in a quarter day. It's fairly overgrown and neglected. It's not often that people go up there. And for the 18, Ash, there have been urban legends and old wives' tales of people disappearing there. But conventional wisdom, like the obvious common sense explanation for that, is that the mob simply uses the remote location to dispose of corpses and get rid of their enemies, kind of thing.
Might you have a picture of your wife so we know what she looks like?
I haven't prepared one, but she hands you a fairly glamorous headshot of a Yanti woman. Also looks like she's in her 50s. For those of us who are not aware, Yanti are like snake people. She looks like a Yanti pureblood, which means she would have legs instead of a snake tail. And the picture does look like it's kind of old. Like it looks like it's a picture of when she was maybe in her early 30s, rather than a current picture.
Now, do you have a more recent photo so we can match this to the person?
Well, I'm afraid my wife likes to consider herself to be eternally youthful. She's not one for standing and posing, and photography's not really been widespread. So it's only the richest and the famous that would be able to use a photo camera. But she basically tells you this is what she looks like. She's around my age. But she doesn't have the patience, nor does she like to see the effects of aging on her. She prefers to think of herself as being young and glamorous.
Same hair color, or has she got any lovely wisdom streaks through it?
She still does, so black hair is what you should expect. And it's it's like a war mohawk, so it's shaved on both sides and quite long and sort of. I forget the name of it specifically, but it's kind of up and back, It's got a bit of height and volume
What?
to it. I think. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot the name of the hairstyle.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
what might your
and
wife's name be?
my wife's name is Desiree, and I'll point out, and she points to a piece of head jewelry, like a tiara that she's wearing in the photo. I'll point out that she still wears this piece of jewelry to this day. It's got a dangling jewel, so there's like a jewel that sits in the middle of the forehead, and it looks like a small eye, like it looks like a small eye, composed of like metal and crystals. She still wears this every day, and her name is Desiree.
I got a question, and I understand. Obviously, this must be very harrowing for you, everything you're going through. But I gotta ask. I'm sitting here with Miss Foxwell, jewel of the funk era, the disco diva herself. When can we expect a new album?
Roll me a persuasion check.
Come on. I've wanted to roll more in my life. Ugh.
Oh, yeah.
Persuasion 8.
She looks stunned for a moment at the question. Like she definitely wasn't expecting that question. And she smiles to herself and she says, "Oh, I imagine something will be dropping any day now." It's pretty clear that she is lying.
Not Demo, it's not. I cannot wait. I keep telling people disco will never ever die. It cannot die. It cannot die.
Well,
And then
maybe if you listen
holds
long
his
enough,
necklace.
you'll hear something about yourself, little man.
Oh, it's a dream. That's a dream. Anyway, about your missing and presumed dead wife. Wait, did we say that? Or am I No, she's fine, right?
We
I
have not
hope I
concluded
hope she
anything quite
is
at this
okay.
point.
Sorry, I don't mean to be a sorry. I got my wires crossed. It's just I'm a big fan.
And if you can bring my wife back, I'll be a fan of yours.
We cannot fail. And I look at everyone like, did I them?
Yeah, don't worry about it, ma'am. Delphin, Darkwood, Detective Agency, and I guess associates who are also here are on the case.
Do either of you or any of you have any other questions for Miss Foxwell, or should we move on?
What was the
How can
fight
we-
about?
She told you that the fight was Desiree told Fawn that she saw her son, and they argued about it because her son has not been seen for 15 years. They argued about it. Fawn didn't believe her, and because of that, she left.
My mistake. I was too excited about the prospect of a new album.
It's quite all right. I don't mind reiterating stuff like that. It's totally fine.
How can we get in touch with you if we need to, ma'am?
I'll tell you what. Let me give you my estate address, assuming that you'll keep it to yourselves.
Of course.
Discretion is the key. She takes out a little business card. It's got her name on it, and she, with a quill, writes a high town address on it. Like, even if she's not still famous, she clearly has got like a nice apartment somewhere. Doesn't live in the brick and mortar. She lives up in the glass. And so she tells you that if you present this card at the door, that you'll be let in. But ideally, you'll have Desiree with you, so Desiree will be able to get you up to the correct floor.
Any perchance do you have any sort of direct sending stone matching that we would be able to take with us should we need to be able to get in contact with you during at all, or
I'm afraid I don't. But
that's fine.
Desiree is supposed to have one, but she's not. She's not
She's not answering.
contacted me for several days.
You don't have any associate known as the Disco Devil that we could interpose between? Because I got a sending stone that goes to him, and I know you go in disco circles. Maybe that'd be a quicker way for us to. No.
Can
No.
you explain what your question was? Because I don't understand.
The Disco Devil is Mo's patron, who is
Oh,
a
I
very
see.
sad patron who is trying to keep disco alive.
I see.
And Mo assumes that
Mm.
anyone that is connected to disco must know the disco devil.
Okay, that's fair. Hang on. Now that I understand the question, she looks at you for like a while. Like there's a noir, like a sexy noir tension in the room for 15 seconds, and then she finishes her drink in one quick down, places it down, and smiles at you, but smiles at you in a sad way. And then she stands and she says, "My darlings, I'm afraid I must leave you. But when you find my wife, please return her to me, and I will be financially and emotionally in your debt. Agreed?"
We won't fail you.
And the thing is, she didn't tell you an amount that she would pay you, but she seems pretty assured that if you can perform the job, that you'll be well paid. And well paid for tonight's special is like tomorrow's lunch is sorted. Well paid from this lady is probably like, oh, I don't have to worry about rent for a bit.
This will pay off the offices, Mort. I got a feeling.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Ms. Foxwell. We'll do what we can.
And you, Mr. Darkwind. And she turns and she leaves the bar.
Well,
And your DM's going to eat something, so, go ahead.
well,
Okay.
I don't know if
Who-
we're ever
who are
formally
you
in-
folk?
Yeah, that's exactly what
Who-
I was going to say. My
who-
name's
who are you?
McCloud.
You're very small,
I am very small.
but then you have
are
big
a
shoes.
great detective. I think we're going to be. If you can,
It's confusing. You're small, but big shoes.
they make me very fast.
That
You
is
wouldn't think it.
great to hear.
These shoes make me very, very fast.
Yes. You may need to run, my small friend.
I usually do. For some reason, people like hitting me.
I cannot imagine why.
I mean, I tell them, why are you hitting me? And they don't give me any answer. I'm trying to build up an understanding of why people see me and think victim. But I got no. Maybe I could hire your detective agency when I get paid to figure that out.
We would consider taking any kind of case related to senseless violence. What is your name?
Pausing or
friend?
preventing, yeah, it's the same to us.
We specialize in both.
Psychological terror.
Real violence,
So-
psychological violence.
It's a great.
My name's
tagline.
Morty.
I like that we've all gone with like this like southern debutante like accent. Did you guys all
Yeah.
have that planned, or did you just mirror me when I started doing it?
I had like a low voice in mind. I'm like, fine, I have the accent now. Great. It's infectious.
Great.
This is me
Um,
from last time. So
Cool. Perfect. I think it just feels like the accent that goes along with the like detective noir movie, right? So let's all do it and have fun with it. Ash, you haven't participated in this conversation at all. Is there anything that you would like to add to this, or should we just skip ahead a little bit?
I was gonna say it. Well, I think I've seen you two skulking around my dad's establishment, trying to figure out more, trying to tie up ties, maybe to do with the grenade, possibly to do. Think I've seen you down there once or twice.
I
And
mean-
for reference, her dad's establishment is like a boxing gym that's sort of like normally manned like throughout the day for like training and stuff like that, but it's kind of like a 24-hour gym. But they also like do muscle hire. So it's basically like a monk temple, but it's a boxing gym.
And you like
And-
hireable bodyguards, right?
Yeah, hireable bodyguards. And previously, before her father went straight and narrow, he was a crook. His boxing name is the Grenade, but that's also kind of what his mob name was as well. So if you've been here in town for a long time, you would know that.
Oh, the grenade. Oh, your daddy runs firelights.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've been doing some skulking.
yeah, I noticed.
Some of my best work.
I guess not, if she noticed.
Well, that is true.
You're results focused. Results is all we really need to know about. So,
Well, considering I've seen him talking to you and maybe giving you, pointing you in the right directions of some of your cases, I would assume that we're on the same side here.
attention lingers in the air. Party, I have a question for you. How do you plan to travel to the reservoir? And what equipment, if any, do you plan to collect for that journey? The implication from Fawn was that she wants someone to go up there now. And if the thing is, she's like, if you're gonna wait for the morning, I can find someone else to go now.
How far away is the reservoir from where we are?
You could get there and back in a quarter day. So it'd take you about 3 hours to travel there, assuming that you use the local taxi service to get out there.
Does anyone have a car?
Do we have a car? I think we were gonna purchase a car for the detective agency. Do we not buy a car?
I don't think we can afford a car yet.
It was on my to-do list. I was mainly doing skulking.
It takes up a lot of time.
And it's expensive.
It really does.
Can I maybe just like roll a d20? Like, I don't know if this would work. 1 to 10 that my dad has like a work van, and like or something like that, and then whatever number.
Let's go odds and evens. So
Odds.
evens, there's a van that you can borrow.
Yep.
Odds, it's booked.
Okay,
Ooh.
cool.
Heck.
Oh,
Damn.
never mind.
Which of those rolls are we using?
Yeah, odds it was
Oh.
booked, so
Yeah.
I didn't mean to roll it twice.
Okay.
So you can very easily use the taxi service around the city. This is a fairly densely packed city. It's very common for people not to have their own cars because parking them is also a nightmare. So you could all easily hire a taxi. There's plenty of them around that could take you out there. I guess my question is, before you go, would you like to purchase any supplies?
What if we got in the way of walking around money?
Hey, for the purposes of, look, if you want to buy like a solid gold magic sword, you probably won't be able to afford that. If you want to get like some torches and I don't know, some string or something, that stuff is fine. We're gonna roll to see what you can locate at this time of the night. But if you're all happy with the gear that you have, then we'll just move on.
No,
Maybe
just
a
the basics.
snorkel?
Yeah.
A snorkel,
Snorkel,
okay.
a raincoat, scroll of
for-
the wish spell, just the basics.
I can definitely help you with a snorkel and a raincoat. So for the raincoat and for the snorkel, just go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
What is that shop? that sells those two items.
Danny's
Both of you got
underwater
14.
emporium.
If it's
Under and
liquid
over
water,
water.
we've got
Under and over water. Just any
Um,
water-related gear.
There's a guy that runs a scuba shop. It's not a very successful scuba shop, but you guys did a job for him a while back. You found his dog, that had been dog napped by his ex-wife. And so even though it's after business hours, you're able to wake him up because he lives right above the store. And he reluctantly lets you in and sells you a raincoat and a snorkel. Is there anything else? Mo and Ash, would either of you like to get any additional supplies before we go?
Mo has no
Not
money.
an additional supplies, but as we're walking out of the Tonight Special, I have got a noir monologue that I would like to do before we.
Let's hear it.
Let's go.
And I'm
Good.
assuming what I'm assuming is what had happened is Form was like, "Cool, you guys are doing the job," and she left like the whole bar.
Yes, she left the whole bar. She didn't stick around.
Yeah, cool. Well, damn, Daddy. There's always a babe, always gorgeous, never single, and usually in need of my help. And well, those at gams are anything to go by. This trouble is going to be more than the gold that it's worth, but I can't help but help for a pretty face. Pretty face and gams like that.
Go ahead and take yourself a point of DM inspiration.
So good.
So what we're going to do is during the
Right.
show, the audience can award you inspiration. That is regular, normal inspiration. You turn your roll, you turn it into advantage. When I, the DM, give you inspiration, that roll becomes cumulative. So you can roll 2d20s and add them together.
Ooh. Oh.
Oh,
That has the potential to spike your roll, or it can still be +1, +2, +3. So that goes for now, and that goes for the main game as well as any other warm-up games that we play. If I give you a point of inspiration for doing something cool, it is you get to add it to your roll when you use it.
Okay, cool. I like
Hell
that.
yeah!
That rolls.
Okay, and so we're all happy to move on. It's around 3 hours later when you oh, hang on, I'll start this again. 3 hours later, I want you to imagine a dark, very unlit space with a torch approaching and on like a bumpy path. A car approaches, with its headlights going, and it pulls up. And the only light that you really have this far out of the city. In the background, you can see the twinkling of Ludus and Luthor, but we're just a little bit outside of it now. The only light that we can see is two twin beams illuminating a fairly messy looking forest as we hear a door open, 4 pairs of footsteps exit, and the door slams. You hear someone say, "I'll come back and check if you're still here in a couple of hours." And there's a screeching of tires, and the taxi heads back down the hill from whence it came. What you find ahead of you is a worn path through a boggy, swampy forest that has sprung up since the dam was originally built only 60 years ago. And somewhere beyond that, the shore of the reservoir itself. There are no modern conveniences here, and certainly no light. What is your plan from here?
Do you all have torches?
I mean, my plan is to have dark vision and then look through the darkness with my vision.
That is also my plan.
Morty, still wearing his sunglasses, says, "I'm fine. I don't need a torch."
I guess it's just you. Man, that must be super embarrassing.
Oh no,
Does
I can see. I just wanted to know if you needed any light because she'll click her
Oh.
fingers, and a bit of flame is just like hovering in her hand.
Did you use the produce flame cantrip?
Yep.
Wicked.
So like, if
That's
you
a neat
needed
trick.
it, it was there. It was just an offer.
I have a question for Mortimer. Does dark vision negate sunglasses, or are you still kind of looking through like an even grayer filter on this gray world?
I believe that sunglasses make stuff darker, right?
Yeah,
So with dark vision, it would be like he's not wearing sunglasses.
that's pretty fun actually. I quite like that lore. We're gonna keep that.
It's just
So-
for style.
Yeah, it's just the style. He's like in the 80s, sunglasses, dude,
Just-
bro.
Yeah, love it.
So what is the plan? What's our marching order? We're like, there's a path in front of us, that is, overgrown, but rather than just bush bashing randomly, there is a like a set path up here. What's the plan? What's the marching order?
Well, I think Delphanius is going to start skulking, as is
What
his
does that
natural
mean?
instinct. That, in D&D terms, that means a stealth, trying to be quiet, going down this path.
Okay. Everybody else gonna follow?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. Can you each please roll me a survival check? Delphanius, because you called it out, you can make yours a stealth check instead.
I don't know how to
Is
do
it-
the specific checks in Roll20. How do I do that?
Oh, you hit the particular skill where the plus to the bonus
Yeah,
is.
you open your character
hit that.
sheet, and do it from there. So do you know how to find your character sheet?
I do not.
Okay,
Apologies.
so go to.
Oh, you're doing it from there.
Are you using Roll20 or are you using a D&D Beyond character sheet?
I've got a D&D Beyond character sheet.
Cool. So
You should
you
just if you hit. I was gonna say, yeah, if you've got Beyond 20 installed as a especially if you're using like Chrome or whatever, you should just be able to tap the numbers and they should go straight into Roll20 for you.
Do you
Oh.
have Beyond 20 installed?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe?
Can you see on your sheet a little red dice with a B in it?
I can't even see my sheet. Sorry, team. I've used it before, but not to this level of fanciness.
Gotcha.
I'm happy to just roll and then do the addition myself, not to
Sure.
slow
Yeah,
things.
you can also roll. But for the main game, I will expect you to set this up for like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
actual
for
charity
sure.
stream. But yeah, for tonight, you can just tell us what you get. It's fine.
Yeah, cool. Easy. Survival 17.
Okay. You breach the forest, and immediately your shoes, except for Mo, immediately your shoes fill with bog water, sending a chill through you. The light from Ash's flame bounces off the leaves and vines, and it always seems like there's something moving just beyond what the light is showing you. Ash, you are walking along, checking out the forest. You're so aware of this intense, pressing darkness up here in the swamp. You've been walking with the group for around 20 minutes, slapping away mosquitoes and listening intensely for any signs of your rescuee. When your foot sinks a lot deeper into the water than you were expecting, you've found the edge of the main lake. This is just Ash for now.
Man, these were new dark. This is gonna take forever to get dry. On the edge of the lake.
You turn around and you realize that your companions are not with you.
Dope. Love that. Can I do a perception check to see if I can see where they are?
Absolutely. Go
I
ahead and
would
roll me.
I would put out my flame to make it then easier because then I'm not being blinded by the flame that's around me.
Sure. Go ahead. Roll me a perception check. Do you have dark vision?
Yes.
Yep. Then roll me a perception check.
21.
21.
Nice.
You look around, and while you can hear the sounds of the forest, the owls and the insects buzzing, somewhere in the distance, you can hear the crunching, telltale sound of footsteps, but it's nowhere within your line of sight. You do though hear the sound sploosh as something quite large appears to have entered the water.
Ooh. As we're going along, would we notice that one of our party is no longer with us?
Apparently not.
And
Well,
how close
people
did
wander
that
off.
sploosh sound like it was to me?
It sounded pretty far away, like probably 100 feet, maybe more.
Okay. And given what what I knew about the fact that this was like mob body dumping ground, basically, she's probably gonna assume it's, something to do with that.
Okay.
And then just sort of like link down a bit. So if if they were looking at where the flame was like in the darkness, that it's been snuffed out and she's hopefully not being able to be seen as much.
From the black, inky water, something suddenly launches itself at you. You make out green skin, sharp claws, and a horrible smell. The terrible, awful-looking troll snarls as it attempts to grab at you, and the rest of the party, you hear a deep splash and someone yelling somewhere to your left. Everybody, hang on. I'm gonna set up initiative. Hang on, I'll do it. Gotta move the damn flag. Did that change for you guys?
Yep.
It did.
Everybody roll for initiative, and I have to click the thingy to bring up initiative. So hang on. So how you roll for initiative is you've got to click on your character, and then roll your initiative, and you have to do that in the Roll20 version of your sheet.
Oh heck! Then.
But your
disregard
dexterity
that.
has been entered. So to find the Roll20 version of your sheet, hold Alt and double click on your character token.
Do I hit the initiative button? That doesn't look right.
Yeah.
The points represent your dexterity score. It's there to break ties.
Ah,
So-
yes, I remember this.
Now, how do I
Well, that was a better roll. I'm happy.
roll into initiative? Okay, he's in there. Sweet. Okay. So I'm just gonna do the surprise round for the start of this combat, and then we will jump into actual initiative. Is that cool? Okay. The troll basically burst out of the water and it has attempted to grab you. So we're gonna start with a grapple check. So I'm gonna roll an athletics check. You're gonna roll a
Acrobatics.
acrobatics check.
Do you want me to roll athletics or acrobatics?
Your choice, actually.
Acrobatics. Because don't monk. Whoa, man. Where are these? Why?
So
Okay.
he doesn't have the troll does not have proficiency in athletics. So you're able to duck under the first attempt. And for its second attack, it is just going to go for a claw maneuver against you. And if it succeeds, that is 18 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Yep. So I'll go ahead and roll that damage. Sorry, I'm still not quite used to, because there used to be a thing where I could just click and it would roll the damage for me. So it's 2d6 plus 4 slashing damage.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Hang on, 2d6 plus 4. Sorry, this is still new to me as well because it looks different to when I did my instructions here.
Gotcha.
Because usually you could just roll it and then if it hits, there's like a place that you click.
Mhm.
Okay, never
Like
mind. So
that.
it's I'll go 2d6. Did it do it? Oh, there.
Yeah, it did
Cool.
it.
Cool, perfect.
nine.
So that's 9 slashing damage against you, and the hand is going to close around your arm,
Mhm.
and it is still attempting to hold onto you. And you can feel that it's pulling on you, and it appears to want to put you in the water. It is your turn.
Okay, not Mo, because he's a knight. Do I
Oh,
get
I see
around
here.
this?
I've got a. Sorry, you're right. I have to manually. Okay, there we go. It is Mo's turn. Sorry,
You want-
that was my bad. I just looked at the order, but I didn't arrange it. I'm still learning Roll20 as well.
All good. Is Mo aware that things are wrong?
You heard a noise. You know the direction. You are where I've put you on the map, so you're still in the forest. But you are aware that someone's missing and someone screamed. Or actually,
Oh.
I'll leave that up to Ash. Did you make a noise, Ash, or is it just the splash that they heard?
Probably me saying loudly, for frick's sake, because gonna use PG language. Yeah.
Okay, so you heard
the
that
kids.
somewhere from your left.
Okay. Mo wants to reach into his pocket and pull out a small disco ball, which is an orb he uses to cast his spells. And he wants to
Ba-ba-ba-ba-bum.
he wants to spin it on his finger like a basketball, immediately drop it, pick it up, catch it, and then he's going to try to point in the direction that he heard. And I want to, and I have to point to the person, so it's a real crap shot. But I want to cast the message spell to Ash. Be like, "Are
Okay.
you okay?
Can
Are
you
you
please roll
okay?
me an
We've got
Arcana
split up."
check? Because you can't see her, you only have a direction. The DC is going to be 17 to successfully set this off.
All right, let's have a go. 16. Do I have a +2 Arcana? I have a -2 to Arcana. So that
Unfortunately
is
not.
14.
Just
Oh,
out of
no.
interest, what is the message that what is the message that just disappears into oblivion?
Are you okay? We got split up. We're over here. If you can come to the sound of my voice. He's a real idiot.
Any movement or bonus actions?
I'll turn to the crew and go, she didn't respond to my message. She's probably toast, but we should go check out anyway. And I'll just start heading in that direction.
Cool. Go ahead and move yourself your full movement speed. 1 square So we'll do the rule that I play, which is the first time you go diagonal, that is 5 feet, and then every diagonal after that is 10 feet.
Cool. I will.
I have a few house rules. That's just how I learned to play.
Oh,
that's
okay.
good. I'm into it.
That's a funky one. I like it.
In terms of the depth of the water, I'm just
Yep.
deciding if I would dash or not, because I can dash as a bonus action. But
Oh,
if
that's
the
cool.
water is quite deep and Mo is quite small, I don't know if he would really like. Is it difficult terrain for Mo? I suppose is the.
The water is going to be difficult terrain, but you can see the map in front of you. This part here is just mud. Is just like wet dirt, not like boggy mud. This part here will become difficult terrain once we're out into the actual water.
Yeah, Mo as a bonus action will click his heels together. His high heels will light up and start playing bad disco music from a small speaker on the side. It's
There's
When
no
I
such
get
thing.
you alone, when I get you alone.
It's more that it's like a tinny speaker that you'd find on like a $2 shop toy. Like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the sound.
like a
Um,
like a
Love that.
Kmart's Bluetooth speaker.
yeah, exactly.
Like a bad MIDI keyboard.
Yeah, and I will use my boots of speed as my bonus action to dash. So yeah, I'll move my Mo on up. I'll go like that, and then I'll go across 10, and so I'll end up like there.
Cool. You now have eyes. You now have eyes on what's happening.
Cool. Wow. Oh no. I'll end my turn.
Ashranti, you're up.
All right. So I'm grappled. Yes.
Yes.
Cool. Kind of placing hands, sort of like on the wet, slimy chest of this I guess lake troll. I'm going to cast Burning Hands, Dex save 15.
Very nice. So I'll go ahead and roll that dexterity saving throw. Why do I keep closing it
Did it
instead of
succeed in
minimizing it?
grappling?
The second time it did,
Oh, sorry, I missed
because it
that.
hit with an attack.
Sorry.
Dexterity saving throw?
Yep.
It's a check. Where's my saving throws?
Unless it states that it has a particular bonus to it, it is just whatever stat it would use for the
Oh.
throw, right?
Cool. Then I rolled a 9, so that's probably a failure.
Cool. 6 points of fire damage.
Okay, and then
Is
minus
that enough for it to
6.
hopefully drop me?
Because it was fire, it did not seem to respond very well to the fire. So it is going to it pulls its arm up to cover its face, and in that moment, it lets go of you.
Sweet. Cool. Click of a neck. Flurry of blows.
Cool. What are you doing punches? Because you've got those boxer wraps on. Are you just doing some quick punches?
Yeah, punch in. So first punch in.
10 does not hit.
Oh no, I bet an 11 doesn't hit either.
11 doesn't hit
What
either.
the-
Unfortunately, not.
Nah. Cool.
Cool. And I think you've still got movement left if you want to use movement.
No, I'm up in its face. I don't care.
Okay.
I'm good.
Cool. So that's action, bonus action, no movement. Delphanius, you are up.
Howdy. Okay, so I'm going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And then, yeah, towards my big shoot friend and his shout of, oh! And basically you see him flick his hand out. It's like, man, the only green slimy thing that I want is my kale smoothie in the morning. And this purple kind of blade of just shimmering energy appears in one of his hands. He's like, "Yo!" as he hurls a psychic knife at our troll friend.
Is this a roll to hit or a saving throw?
This is a roll to hit, which it will hopefully let me do. Do I? Because it's different to skill checks. It's not hitting the plus 6 to do it. If I press this, let's give it a go.
So it did include the dex on there if you have a look at it, because it says it was 3 plus 6 that you rolled. At the bottom it says
Oh.
it's adding the 6.
That is a 9, which
So
does not
unfortunately
hit.
the knife, like, Ash, you're like right in its face, and then this purple glowing knife just like shoots between you, and it's gone in the distance before you really know what happened. Any bonus actions or movement?
Yes, he's going to say, rats. But that's why I always take a second blade. And then the one appears on his left hand. And as a bonus action, I'm going to throw another knife.
Okay. Well, when a knife fails, how about a
Oh.
second knife?
A knife? No.
No.
That
does
is,
it-
in fact, a hit. 21 hits.
21
that is-
hit.
and you...
And
Okay, rules for flanking. Every time flanking would apply, you can use it one time. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes.
So,
you-
like, now,
you
so
can't-
if you want to use sneak attack here, you may, but once that is done, until the board moves, flanking is no longer available.
Oh. So it has to move before I can sneak attack again?
Like, the board has to change. Basically, the way that the situation's set up right now is that the thing that's giving you flanking is that Ash is within melee distance of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So until that changes in some way, so like, for example, if Mo's in melee distance of it, or Ash moves away and then moves back in later, that flanking is now kind of consumed for this situation. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
Yeah. Look, I play with a lot of people who really lean into those kinds of rules, and so I have to be like, no, you can't just
get it.
set up infinite flanking and just wail on it in one turn.
That's fair.
okay.
So if nothing changes until my next turn, I wouldn't add sneak attack damage
Mm,
to
yeah.
any of my hits.
But for now, I'll go ahead and add the 13 damage that you've done there. Cool. Is that your turn?
That sure is.
Mortimer, you're up.
Okay, so Mortimer wants to know, can Mortimer make a perception check to establish a better direction towards the scream?
At the moment, everything's all trees. You have seen both your party members dart out
Mhm.
in a specific direction. But if you were to roll a perception check here, it's impossible to tell because you just don't have the vision.
Okay. In that case, Mortimer is going to draw his silenced pistol from a underarm holster and move towards the direction of the scream. 30 feet.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool. And now you have full vision of what's going on.
Cool beans. I'll just double check that where I'm going. Okay, one there. Okay. And I think drawing a weapon counts as an action of some sort. Is that correct?
No, drawing weapons a free action.
Oh, okay. In that case, Mortimer will double move. Or is that a dash?
Yes. So you what class are you?
Ranger.
Yeah. So you don't have anything that would give you bonus action dash. So if you want to dash,
Okay.
that costs you your action.
Yep, that's fine. I will do that too. Pretty much trying to get into shooting range.
Oh.
Yep, and that is Mortimer.
Right. That is Mortimer's turn. The troll is up next. Mo, you are next. The troll is going to survey survey the changes to the environment. Ash, you're probably the only one close enough to see, but it did not like the fire that you threw at it. And it looks around and it sees that there are other targets, and it makes the decision to move towards a different person. So it's going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And Mortimer, can you please make a grapple check with me, please?
Roger.
Is it out of my melee range then?
Yeah, you get an attack of opportunity if you want one.
Um,
I didn't
If-
hear no bell.
if getting a weapon out is a free action, she would have.
It would only be whatever you had in your hands already.
I'm talking about when after she did those 2 punches. Because
Oh,
I didn't
sure.
realize that getting a weapon out was a free action. She would have unclipped that uh police-looking baton from the carabiner on her hip and flung it out like Natasha Romanoff from into her quarterstaff to take a hit with her. Then
Okay, I'm happy to give you this. In the future, I'm not a DM that enjoys what's the word? Like
backpedaling.
like
Retcon?
That's cool.
retconning actions. That's fine.
Yeah,
I
that's-
hadn't explained it to you. Just so we know, arming yourself is a free action, but changing weapons, so like stowing something and pulling something out in the same turn, that's a bonus action.
Cool.
Is that cool with everybody? I'm pretty sure that's just the regular rule. I don't even think that's homebrew. I think that's just a regular D&D rule. Yeah, so go ahead and do your action with the baton. That hits.
It would have been one-handed, so 4.
Cool, and let me just to remove that. Mortimer, did you roll? So you can choose. You can either roll an athletics check or a acrobatics check on a dexterity check. Sorry, on a not good.
Just rolled now. 5.
Cool. I'm gonna roll mine. I'm gonna go with athletics. The troll is going to basically, like, on one of its big hands, just wrap its whole hand around you. And just make sure.
Ah!
And then it is going to start moving towards the water.
Oh no.
So 5, 10. So you come with me.
You have to pay the troll toll.
He is very much seems like he is trying to get you into the water. That is his turn. Yeah, that's his action, his movement, and his bonus action. Sorry, his multi-attack action. That is the troll's turn. Mo, you're up.
Mo sees this happening. Mo shouts out to the troll. Have you seen one T named Desiree around by any chance? Just throwing everything out there. Also, that's my friend. Could you please put them, acquaintance, hopefully friend. Could you please put them down? And I'll take the disco ball and I'll start spinning it and it will hold in place as it lights up. Disco lights going everywhere. Mo will start giving it the roll. And every time he does the strike pose, a beam of light coalesces from the disco ball and will shoot out as I cast Eldritch Blast onto this
Very cool.
creature. So I'll just
Nice.
roll both the hits first. It's +6, so a 13 for the first one,
Miss.
and a 14 for the second one.
Also a miss, unfortunately.
Get into the disco fever. Please leave him alone.
I mean, asking nicely is a strategy, right? Like, we've all been there.
Mo will just keep vibing and end his turn.
All right.
Sorry.
Ash, you're up.
All right. Who's back in my range now? And sorry, just making sure that was it. When you were talking about with flanking rules, if one person uses it, that means that it's only one person with.
Per situation. So what we've got now is
Mhm.
not a flanking situation because Mortimer, while adjacent to our creature, is being held by him. Like he's not, merely
Not
attacking
right,
him.
yeah.
So
No, that's cool.
unless you have another way of getting advantage, I would say flanking doesn't apply here.
No, that's cool. I thought I would clarify. Cool beans. All right. I'm gonna smack him. First of all, twice with the quarterstaff. Hopefully that. Nah, natty 1. Love that.
No, okay. I'm just gonna wait here. I
Mm.
don't like doing punishment rolls on natural ones, but I have been known where my party is in on the idea to do a fumble check. which is essentially a second d20 roll just to see like if it's high, you're good. If it's low, something minor bad happens. But it's not
Okay.
like you stab yourself in the foot. And so I'll ask you guys: are you comfortable doing fumble rolls, or would we just like to count a natural one as a miss?
I love fumble checks, but I
Me too, but
really
also like they are kind of mean.
yeah, I really
Yeah.
like playing losers that just continue to lose. But that's just me, so I can understand it.
I think it adds to the angst of our kind of noir setting.
Yeah.
And then
I
I
guess it
dropped
just-
my gun.
I guess it just depends on what's more entertaining for people, right? Like,
Yeah.
and for the stream. I'm
So
happy
Ash,
either way.
Chesh, welcome to like obviously you just rolled a natural one, so the natural response is going to be I would prefer not to have fumble checks.
Oh no, I'll do a fumble check. That sounds fun.
Cool. So
Absolutely.
higher than 10, so 11 or up, and you're good. 10 or lower, depending how low it is, something bad will happen.
Okay. Just roll a random d20.
So Tina, you lose your footing for a second, but you right yourself, and you are good.
Okay. But it still misses. That's fine.
Yep. Second one,
my
15
s-
does hit.
The 15 does or does not, sorry?
15 hits.
Okay. This one two-handed because probably like lost her balance. It's like, whoa. With 5 points bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Um
How is it 6 one-handed but 5 two-handed? Did it roll different dice?
yeah, they roll
think so.
differently.
Rolls
One's a
differently.
D8 and one's a D6.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Mm.
Cool.
Cause it's muddy and swampy and stuff. Might lean on her stuff a little bit and then go pop. With one punch. One punch, woman, and 11's not gonna hit.
11 misses, unfortunately.
This is a complete opposite to all of my rolls recently.
Get 'em out the
Any
way
movement
now.
or any movement you want to make?
Nah.
Cool. So that is. So you're happy with your turn to be done there?
Yeah.
Cool. Delphanius, you're up.
Buongiorno. I'm going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 and go next to my little friend, Big Shoes. And though another couple of psychic blades appear in each hand.
Cool. If you're committing to both of them, just roll both like rolls to hit now.
Gotcha. So that would be un and duh.
Both of them miss, unfortunately.
Oh, jeez. I just clicked across as you said that. I'm like, how'd I do? Not well.
Yeah, unfortunately. So you line up your daggers and like maybe cross arms, throw them both at once, seeing that your partner is in a little bit of trouble. Unfortunately, both of them are a little wide. For flavor, we'll say that the muddy ground is giving you a little bit of trouble, and maybe you slipped right, like just a little unsure on your feet, because you guys are used to walking around on like pavement and concrete.
The glare of a disco ball just shines
Yeah.
across your eyes.
Yeah, all of these things together mean that you do miss, unfortunately.
Come
I'm
on.
sorry,
Veeps-
Mark.
Veeps,
You know I
just
don't do
checking
well under
your
pressure.
checking your feet.
Come on, Mortimer.
Yep,
You,
okay.
if you miss here, we've had a whole round where none of us have hit.
Oh, we got one
I
hit.
just,
Oh, we do it.
I just wanted to check something. So
Sure.
I've got a reskinned feat, which is the crossbow expert, and I've changed it to a pistol expert feat. Now, one of the parts of it is it says when you use the attack action and attack with a one-handed weapon, you can use a bonus action to attack with a hand crossbow / pistol you're holding. Does that mean that if I try to attack with a pistol in my one hand, that I get a bonus action to attack with the pistol as well?
There's nothing in the writing that says that's not the case. It doesn't say it has to be a melee weapon. So yeah,
Mhm,
you could do 2 point blank shots, and you also have the part of the feat also means that being within 5 feet doesn't impose disadvantage. So I'm fine for you to just unload on this guy.
Okay. Cool beans. If that's the case,
Just
I
before we do
am.
that, sorry,
Yep.
Severin, I
Yep.
did interrupt you. Was there any other action you wanted to add to your turn?
I just want to like call out like, Sorry, Mort. You know I don't work well under pressure.
Okay, now it's Mortimer's turn.
There we go.
Okay, cool. Mortimer is going to try and, shoot this troll that's grabbed him and is dragging him into his secret underwater lair. A couple of.
Oh, that's not what's happening. Just give it a round. Oh, damn, that's a natty 20, baby.
Ooh, let's go.
Let's go.
So that's double damage. Please and thank you.
So 8 total, so 16 total?
Yeah, so it's up to you. You can either roll twice or you can, like, we kind of need to commit to it before we roll. So it's either
Okay.
roll twice or double the roll that we got. But from now on, you just announce which one you want before you click roll, okay?
I'm happy to roll again as well.
Yeah, go
if you'd
ahead.
like. Cool. Woo!
Oh, nice.
Okay, nine.
Even better.
Cool. So that's 17 with the first shot. And second shot, bonus action. Woo!
Holy,
Oh,
another
let's
one.
go.
Slay.
Okay.
That is where all of
Okay.
our luck went.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where it went.
Okay.
That rules.
So I'm gonna roll twice. So first roll. 6. And 9. So 15. So 17
Nice.
and 15.
Hell yeah.
Mortimer, you have been scooped up by this thing. Your friends are like throwing projectiles every which direction. It starts wading into the bog with you in one hand, and you're able to like pull your arm with a gun in it out of the grasp of its fingers, and you just point blank, like side of the head, just let off 2 shots right into the side of its face, leaving 2 big smoking holes there. It's not
Excellent.
dead, but it also
Damn.
did not enjoy that experience.
Uh-oh.
Is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
I don't think I can. I might have a move left.
Your speed is
Is that right?
0 while you are grappled.
So trying to get out of the grapple, I take that as an action, yeah?
Yeah, that'd be an action to break a
Okay.
grapple, unfortunately.
Yep.
But 2
No.
natural 20, like point blank
Yeah.
gunshots, is probably better than breaking a grapple, if we're all being
Yeah.
honest with ourselves.
Yeah. Cool.
It is
That's me.
the troll's turn. The troll is going to wade into deeper water while holding Mortimer. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is a large creature, so it can wade further into the water than you can. And Mortimer, it's just gonna hold you under the water.
Oh.
So it just grabs you and it just holds you down there. Its head and one of its arms are still above the surface, and it's just waiting until anyone comes close so it can still attack them. So drowning. You can hold your breath for turns equal to your con modifier. What is your con modifier?
My con modifier is 1.
Okay. So once that amount of turns have expired,
Mhm.
I mean, same though.
a drowning character must make a Constitution saving throw to remain conscious. And those con saving throws are going to get harder over time. Okay.
Roger.
All
Please
right.
kill this thing.
Also, on the troll's turn, because no one did a specific thing that I'm not going to tell you about, it is going to use its regeneration ability to regain 10 hit points. Oh, crap, I just showed you what it was. Never mind.
We'll pretend that didn't happen.
I mean, let's be honest, we've all played D&D before. We know how trolls work.
We know how trolls work. Mo certainly doesn't.
Yeah, Delph's no clue.
So it regains 10 hit points. It's going to use its action to start drowning its victim. And that's it for its turn. Next up is Mo.
Oh,
It's still
boy.
visible above the surface of the water, but it's about, its head and one shoulder are above the water, and the rest of its body is submerged.
I'm just going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 up to the shoreline. Yeah, I guess Mo's just going to keep on dancing. I know that this seems insensitive right now, but it's the only way I can cast my magic. Just go, we'll never die. And I will, yeah, couple more Eldritch Blasts into this guy.
Oh.
Adding 6 to these rolls. Oh, I should've. God.
I'm really sorry. I picked a monster that's within our CR range. I can't control this.
It is exactly what I want for a character that I have designed to be very unlucky. Okay.
The secret is to get grappled by it.
Yeah, Mo's real dumb, and he, what's self-preservation at this point? So he will, click his heels together, dash into the water, and start swimming towards this troll. He can't do
Cool.
anything else, but he'll
Once
get
you're in the water, that is difficult terrain. So every square is 10 feet of movement.
I think that should still be fine. Got another. Yeah, it's 15 feet. So I will use the rest of my bonus action dash for me to swim up to this creature.
I don't usually do this, but this is a creature who grabs people and holds them under the water to drown them, and he has a free hand. Are you sure you want to do that?
Mo's intelligence is 7.
Okay.
He is impulsive.
Okay.
He's gonna go in and go. Ah!
You're gonna drown in solidarity. Ash, you are up.
The Disco Devil will protect him.
You know what? Little dude's going in the water, so is she. I would like to wade out as far as I sort of can, where it's not where I could still technically use my stuff and go smack smack.
Okay, yeah, so you've got 10 feet into the water is still shallow water, which is up to the waist. Any
Yep.
deeper than that, and weapon attacks are going to start having disadvantage because you're going to be like properly submerged.
Yeah, sweet as. Cool. Come on, please be nice to me. No.
That is unfortunately a miss. That is a
That'll
hit.
hit. Yay. 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
Cool.
And then on the next one, I'm going to do an unarmed strike.
Also, just checking the advantage that you just had. That was you using flanking, yes?
No, that was an advantage.
Oh, you just rolled twice with the quarterstaff. I was wondering if
Oh,
that was
one
two
is
attack.
one-handed and the other one is two-handed. So the 9 points is the two-handed weapon.
Sorry, I can see that you rolled a 12 to hit and then a 17 to hit.
Yep. So
that's
I
two
have two
attacks.
actions.
Why would you have 2 actions?
You have 2 attacks?
I have 2 attacks.
Oh, you have 2
Oh, you
attacks.
get-
Okay, that's fine.
You
Sorry,
get extra
I thought...
attack at 5th level, I think, from
Yeah.
memory. Yeah.
No,
I was
that's
like,
fine. Sorry,
huh.
I was just checking whether or not you had claimed the flanking or whether you were rolling 2 separate attacks.
Yeah, no, those are 2 separate attacks.
Cool. That's fine.
And then gonna try and punch. Please work. If they're not, and I'm going to use my inspiration to add to it.
Oh,
Do it.
Go.
well,
So I just roll a d20 and that adds to it.
So whatever you roll adds to this. So you just got 23.
Okay, cool. All right. And because of my Way of Mercy, so that is 8 points of bludgeoning damage. I'm also going to spend a key point to do a Hand of Harm, which is also a d6 plus 2 necrotic on the hit. So 7
Doesn't
points
sound
of necrotic damage as well.
merciful at all.
Checking whether it has no, it's not, it doesn't have any resistances, so you're good. So another 7.
Yeah.
Nice. So you come in, you give it a good whack with your staff, and you follow up with that fist, and that fist has got a little bit of rage behind it, so it like hits a little bit magical, a little
Yep.
bit with the like, hey, you country trolls don't know what it's like for us in the city magic.
Pretty much.
Anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
No, I don't think I can do anything else. Okay, see.
Cool. Next up, Delphanius.
Okay. I'm going to move 5, 10, 15. So I've just got a straight shot across and yeah, try to hit it with another couple of daggers. Now that it looks distracted from my 2 party members running straight up to it.
Would you like to claim flanking on this?
I would love to claim flank.
Cool. Roll your first one with advantage.
I thought flanking was only melee attacks, but I'll take the advantage. Oh, I will take the 21.
Yeah, good idea.
So does that do sneak attack damage as well?
Yes, because you roll. Anytime you're a rogue, you roll with advantage on an attack, and you get the attack. That is sneak attack damage.
Yes. That is sneak
Um,
attack damage.
So, can you describe to me how you'd like to kill this evil
Let's
drowning troll?
go.
Yeah, you're going to see
Like,
Delphanius, his eyes just glowing purple above his bushy-ass mustache. Just to say, we just formed an agency. Now you're going to let my friend go. And just launch this dagger directly into the troll's head. And it just starts expanding and
It turns and it's got kind of like a Neanderthal sort of like heavy brow, but like that kind of meets in the middle where its eyebrows are. So it's got a bit of like a butt forehead a little bit, and your dagger just goes straight into the crease, straight into the brain. And Mortimer, you feel the pressure holding you beneath the water suddenly relax as the troll loosens its grip on you and just begins to like slowly collapse is the wrong word, but like slowly just like go limp and sink into the water.
Oh,
is everybody okay?
I'm fine.
if Mortimer's still kind of like, even though it's slack, if he's still held, Ash would like weight herself up to like pull him up if I had to.
Yeah, Mortimer's going to try and feeling the grip loosen, try and wiggle out of that troll's grasp and try and get to the
Which
surface.
with Ash helping you, easy. Like you just have to wiggle out. You feel like a hand grab your lapel and just pull you up.
Yeah.
With your with both the person helping you and your own power, you're able to get
Mm.
back to the surface.
Oh man. I should
And
have
then-
grabbed a towel.
I guess Mortimer's going to back away from the edge of the deep water fairways.
Smart move.
Doot, doot.
Yeah, Mo will swim back to the shore.
Could this be the kind of creature that got the wife that we're looking for?
Might need to look
asked her.
around.
It
Maybe
does
see
add a
if we-
complication.
Well, maybe if we have, I mean, all we know is that she got black hair and she got that circlet thing with the gem that looks like an eye. So maybe if we have a quick scour along the waterfront, see if for any reason that might be around something that might be some form of life that isn't these weird scaly feet. Now, I'm not the best at looking at these kind of things, and I'm assuming you two detectives are, because that's your job. So, by all means, unless you're too waterlogged to do anything. You doing all right?
I can do something about that. You know, sometimes when you're in the club, you're dancing it up, you get pretty sweaty, but don't worry, the disco devil's here to help us out, and I'll spin the disco ball around. I'll cast prestidigitation and clean and dry us all.
It takes a few goes. It takes probably a minute total to dry everybody. But
Sorry, it's
yeah,
usually,
where
I'm
you
usually
once
better at
had
this.
that where you once had that cold chill in your bones from like being underwater and then just the cold air on you, everyone feels a little bit better after a moment.
I'm just
Also-
imagining like you doing sort of disco dancing moves and then doing like the fonz at each person, like, hey, like use the prestidigitate. Yeah,
So many finger guns.
yeah,
For sure.
love
so
it.
many.
For sure.
Also, if we're gonna start just wandering off into the night, I feel like we need somewhere to contact each other. And I'm gonna use Psychic Whispers. So I roll a d8, which has hopefully gone into the chat. Okay, for the next 1 hour, we can communicate telepathically. I was hoping for more hours, but we gotta make it count.
Whoa. That's amazing.
Do you say that
You-
telepathically or out loud?
I say it out loud.
I say telepathically, it sure is.
Oh, you can. I see what you did. The whole pageantry of it was quite good. I didn't realize that you did a thing, but that's even better. You guys are amazing. You're detective agents. I mean, you're all incredible.
Nah, flattery will get you anywhere. And then I'm able to do a perception check to see any like snake
Are you
person
looking
looking
for
footprints.
evidence? Are you just sort of looking around, or are you like specifically looking for evidence?
Just taking a general lay of where we are.
Sure, roll me a perception check. Do you have dark vision?
Sure do.
Yeah, then just a
Um,
flat roll.
And you see Delphanius is going to take out a pair of binoculars from a trench coat pocket and kind of like look around down the beach.
What magic item is that?
That is my reskinned binoculars of the eagle, which gives
Cool,
me advantage
nice.
on perception checks.
So,
That is a 19.
Yeah, you take a look around. You like look down the down the shoreline. You can see a lot of swamp. You don't see much out of the ordinary, but it's when you swing your binoculars around to the lake surface that you see something rather strange. About 30 feet out onto the surface of the lake, you can see a small Yanti boy, silvery in color and letting off a dim glow, standing delicately on the surface of the water, looking right at you. He just stares at you for a moment, and then he points at a clump of bushes, not very far from where you currently are. And then he turns around and walks into the darkness,
You there, boy.
trailed by a thin, shining gossamer thread behind him.
You there, boy. Are you some kind of ghost boy?
He does. Let's say he doesn't respond, but you're not sure whether it was because he didn't want to dignify the question.
I mean, no response. I think you've hit the nail on the head. For sure, a ghost boy. Got real ghost boy vibes.
In the,
I'm sorry,
What are you looking at?
exactly looking? Yeah, what are you looking at?
there was some kind of ghost boy who pointed over there. I'm gonna go have a look. If a troll grabs me, please try to kill it.
Why don't we try and stay closer together just in case?
It's good thinking.
That's a good plan.
So if everyone's looking, you can roll an investigation check with advantage. The DC is only 10.
Whoop, whoop.
17.
Consistency.
Very nice. It doesn't take you very long to realize that these bushes, yeah, everybody figures it out a lot quicker than you. But you're like, what are these bushes? These bushes are really weirdly shaped, and everyone's like, that's a boat. There's a boat under there, and you're like, I'm not sure. Let's have ourselves a little look-see. And you pull away the vines that have just been sort of like draped over top. And you find like a rowboat that could easily fit about 6 people, just sitting here on the edge of the shore, just ready to go.
Hmm.
Well, that's not suspicious at all.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Don't want to go and chase your ghost boy?
I'm curious about the ghost boy.
I mean, we're all curious about the ghost boy. He's a ghost boy.
Alright, well, if I'm rowing, you guys just point me in the direction I need to row.
Probably the width of it probably requires 2 people to row.
Okay.
I'm
Sorry, I got
shoot.
distracted. I didn't realize that my dog had snuck in behind me. It gave me a fright.
So who's helping Ash to row?
Now, I don't do rowing. I do skulking.
I guess Mortimer will help Ash.
I would appreciate it. As you can see, as your detective friend pointed out, I'm quite small.
Yeah, but some small people have strong arms, like the dwarves.
So the only
Never
person
mind.
who saw the ghost boy was Delphanius, who
Y'all just think I'm crazy.
gives you a general direction that you should be going. You are rowing. It's like 1 a.m. and you're like, the water is inky black. The night sky actually kind of nice. You can see some stars now that you're out of the city. But the where you're rowing is like you can't even tell where the water ends and where the sky begins, or when the like surface of the water ends. You're just rowing out into darkness. which I realize now that I've said that is a little bit offset by the fact that all four of you have dark vision. The gray is very dark. The shades of gray that you can see, extremely darkness.
Be a nice night for a romantic boat ride if it wasn't for the fact that we're chasing a ghost boy.
Hey, ghosts need love too.
Do you? I realize that you're looking at the map, and the map has lanterns on it. So, do you light the lanterns, or are you all happy just using your natural dark vision?
Lanterns would draw some kind of unsavory attention, I'd imagine.
Okay. No
And
lanterns.
is there a way for us to keep at least one lantern lit, but cover it up, just in
Yeah.
case, you know?
If you've got any like cloths
We
or
need a
anything in
fire.
your bags, it seems pretty easy to do,
Oh.
just to drape something over it.
I picked up a raincoat. Yes, coming in clutch.
Is it a
Um,
light raincoat?
Knowing Delph, he'd get the heaviest raincoat to go with his already very heavy coat.
I think that joke just went straight over Severin's head, but I got it. I liked it. It was a good joke.
I was just trying to be helpful.
All right. Okay. So we're all rowing. We've got a general direction. You don't light the lanterns at the front of the back of the boat. Well, you light one, but you keep it covered. And you push out onto the lake, watching your wake ripple out across the still water. You have a general direction, but once you're out in the dark water, it's hard to tell where you're going. Can everyone please make me a DC 18 perception check?
Nope.
Get the binoculars out. Let's go.
3.
Oh, there it
Oh.
is.
Yep.
Whew.
again, it's like
Three this session. Oh my days.
in a row.
I need a
That's-
check
that's
to
your
make sure
fourth
D20's
nat 20 now,
not
isn't it?
Yeah, we'll have to check and make sure that something's
Don't
not
question it.
funky.
Don't question it. Awesome things are happening. Don't spoil it. Mo, will you be rolling perception, or are you choosing not to?
I did, but I rolled a 3. It's
Oh
just
yeah,
me
I sorry.
having
I
to
see.
pick stuff
Your
up.
rolls look different to everyone else's. That's my bad. Mortimer, you can see about 120 feet out a slightly darker shape than the water. It looks like it might be an island, and it is in the direction that Delphanius pointed you to. And within that dark shape, something is very lightly glowing silver. So softly that you actually lose it a couple of times, even though you're like looking right at it. You like can't find it, and then you find it again. Ash, you're concentrating on keeping pace with the other rower, Mortimer, and you're ignoring the cold in your fingers when you feel something cold and slimy pass over your hands.
Not again.
Wow, what's happened?
Delphanius.
Yes.
Sorry, Veeps, were you about to say something?
Yeah, Mortimer's whispering to the rest of the crew. Over that way. Looks like an island.
Delph is gonna telepathically say, "You don't need to whisper. It hasn't been an hour yet."
Oh, right. Thanks.
Delphanius, you're playfully chiding your detective partner, and you're keeping an eye out sort of behind the boat, scanning the dark water when you see a set of ripples about 10 feet behind you, although nothing surfaces.
I'm gonna telepathically relay that there are ripples, but no surface.
Mo, now that the destination has been pointed out to you, you're doing your best to keep your eye on it, and you hear a squelching noise coming from near your feet.
Mo is talking into his little necklace. It's not really like gonna be. It's not right my cues on, is it? Because I know I got a hit on me. So what? And then he's gonna look down.
Seems to be just a puddle of water down there.
Yeah. Mo will go back whispering sweet nothings into his necklace.
Mortimer, You are on alert. You're looking around frantically. After your companions have been reacting to stuff that you can't see. And you're looking around and you look over at Ash and the light catches funny on something. You stare at her for a minute before you realize that some kind of living slime appears to be behind her, stretching up towards her head.
Look out! Ash, look out!
Probably looking the completely opposite direction, let's be real. You say, look out, and she's like, where?
So yeah, Mortimer has just like told Ash to look out.
And then that's it. Just
I don't
like,
know what
watch
Ash is
out, you're
doing.
on your own though.
If you draw attention, can I just throw a dagger at the slime? Just
When Mortimer said look out, would you have turned?
yes.
Okay, then yeah, go ahead, throw a dagger at the slime.
He's very suggestible, especially when people yell things.
If you roll a natural one, you are hitting hitting Ash.
Glad I did not. So that's 16 to hit.
The dagger pierces through the slime, like severing the top part of it, and it goes like the bottom of it just like seems to change from being a slime into a liquid, and it just drains out the side of the boat. And then the lake begins to churn.
Oh no, the lake's like butter.
And small,
With the lake's a mimic.
small, slimy creatures begin sloping their way
Oh no.
over the lip of the boat. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Hang on, I'm going to move them in a second. I should have moved them to be in scarier positions.
That is already quite spooky. Oh no, there's more.
Oh, no.
Not a double click. Sorry, this part is me being inefficient, but stuff is happening. Small, slimy creatures begin sloping their way over the lip of the boat, attempting to stick to you. You're still about 80 feet from your island destination, and while there are 6 on the boat, you definitely seem like there are more of them in the water, so you're gonna want to keep moving. What do you do? Just my personal preference is that we don't roll initiative. This is more of like a crisis encounter than an actual like proper combat.
Poor.
Um,
How far away are we from the island? Sorry.
80 feet.
80 feet. Okay.
they-
Would you take, because of like 2 of us are rowing and there are slimes, would you say rowing is a, like, to continue rowing would be an action? Or would that be like I could continue rowing like as a bonus action, something like that? Like, how would you want to work that?
We're not going to do classic turns in that way. For this is
Yep.
like more of a role play encounter.
Okay.
Your options are, if you want to use your hands to do something, you will stop rowing.
Okay.
But if you, for example, want to like kick at them while continuing to roll, we'll just do a little roll and see how good you are at that.
Okay, cool.
Mo reaches into his bag and takes out like a really beaten up old drink bottle, and he's like, when there's disco a rockin', you gotta stay hydrated. And he's gonna shake it up, and he's gonna pop the top, point it at the back of the boat, pop the top of his decanter of endless water, and shout disco instead of geyser. In which, yeah, a geyser 30 foot long and 1 foot wide is going to shoot out the back, and I'm hoping that will act as a motor.
If you hold it under the surface of the lake while you do that, it will boost you.
I'll do that. I'll plunge it in the water. Disco, baby! It's never gonna die. And I'm gonna basically.
Okay. Rowing is no longer rowing is no longer a necessity because you're shooting forward magically. Well done, Mo. That was a great move.
Cool.
You guys can take actions in any order.
Okay. In that case, if I saw Mo doing that at the back of the boat, I would put the paddle sort of down so it didn't just like float out or whatever. Hopefully. And then just start like I guess punching at the ones near him. Just to be like, get away from him, we need him.
Okay, cool. This sounds like you would be you're a martial artist, right? So you're more about quick strikes than big one, like big heavy ones.
Yeah.
Let's say roll a d4 for how many you're able to you're how many of these things you're able to go for. And I guess I'll
One.
move Mo back here. Yeah, so you're able to do you know how to ping on the map? If you just click down your mouse and just hold down the button, if you just pick one of these guys that you want to knock off the boat and back into the lake, I'll remove him.
That one.
Just quickly grab another glass of water. 2 seconds.
Go ahead. One of them's gone.
Cool.
Mr. and Mr. Detective. Esquire.
I'm gonna try to like light these little slimes up, and because I'm an astral elf, can I cast the Sacred Flame cantrip at a few of them just to?
So Sacred Flame targets one. It's not a. It's not a. What am I trying to say? It's not like a cloud of fire. You can pick one and absolutely use Sacred Flame.
Yeah, no, definitely. Can I get the one again closest to my little kobold friend?
This guy here.
Oh
no, this one over here.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't
So yeah, Sacred Flame. I'm pretty sure is a saving throw. Is that right?
Yes. So it'd be a DC 14 Dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity saving throw. That is a failure. Go ahead and roll me your damage.
2d8 in the chat. I rolled twice. We'll take the top one. I do apologize. So 5 points of radiant damage.
Yeah, the little slime shrivels up at the fire, and goes. It willingly slinks back over the edge of the boat and under the water to escape from the fire. Mort, you've still got a few more seconds of the magical boosting, so you're not needed to row for just a minute. Is there something that you'd like to do to combat these other slimes that are trying to stick to you?
Mort is going to try and scoop one out using the oar
Okay.
for the rowboat.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll me an attack roll. This would be an improvised weapon unless you have, I guess this could count as a club if you have proficiency with, what would it be, simple weapons?
I believe I do as a...
Probably a great club, actually, considering it's it would be two-handed. So, yeah. Go ahead and roll me an attack roll.
Cold beans. Now, so I would just do 1d20. I don't know. Yeah, all right.
So what's you so this would just be a strength modifier. So
Yeah,
whatever your strength
So
modifier is of that.
yeah, 2 total.
Um,
Wow.
The slime sticks to your oar and starts like making its way down the handle towards you.
Straight away, drop it.
Yeah, just roll me a quick d20.
Into the boat. Into the
Yeah,
boat.
no, you didn't say that. Roll me a quick d20.
Ah, dang it. All right, here we go. Woo!
Oh,
Only into the boat, but
He's
perfectly
back.
perfectly into the oar's like little groove that it sits into. You are only now 20 feet away from the. You're now only 20 feet away from the shore, as the remaining slimes are each going to try to take a bite out of you guys. Don't need that anymore, but I do need this. So the first one is going to be against Mortimor. 13 hit. You're muted, buddy.
My AC is 16.
It's a miss. Second one is going to be against Ash. 19 hit. That is going to be a total of 11 damage. 4 of that is psychic damage. This guy's going to come a little closer. This one here is going to go for Delphanius.
Okay. I will say, as it's trying to hit Delphanius, he kind of ripples, like an old projector, but it's not quite set up right, as he has a large detective cloak of displacement, so it rolls
Okay.
with disadvantage.
Okay, that is fair. Now let me see if I can figure out how to make it roll with disadvantage. I think I might just do it twice. So 110 and 120, so 10 would miss you.
Indeed, a 14 AC.
It attempts to like sort of stick itself onto a leg that ends up not being there. And then the remaining one is also going to go for Mortimer because that's who's the closest to it. 16 hit you, Mortimer?
I believe so. My AC is 16.
Beats.
Yep.
There's going to be 6 bludgeoning and 2 psychic damage.
8 total.
The decanter of endless water, the boost, starts to run low. You guys got like a ton of distance out of that, so congratulations, you guys skipped about 3 turns of this. The shore is only 15 feet away, but it's still going to require some rowing, and there are 4 slimes left in the boat. Who would like to make an action?
To continue now that that's sort of starting to slow down, and if I would notice that, I would continuing to row. The one that's closest to me, I'll kick it.
Yeah, cool. Roll me an attack roll. Unarmed strike. That hits.
There we go.
Yep. You just kick it and your foot connects really well and it sails off into the darkness and you hear a little plunk as it goes under the water. Yeah, exactly.
Nice. I'm gonna, again, 2 psychic daggers to stab the 2 next to... Oh no, I guess the one next to where Delphanius is.
Cool. So roll me attack. Do one at a time.
Yep. Just to see. I imagine an 8 does not.
No, 8 misses.
Okay, and then second dagger swings around as technically bonus action, ad hoc combat boy. 16.
It hits.
And
and with that amount of damage, your psychic dagger pierces it. It glows purple for a second, and then it just goes from being like a solid liquid, and it just like lets go, and it just collapses into being just part of the water in the bottom of the boat.
How big is the boat? Because in my mind, like, I was thinking about it. If Mo's leaning over the edge of the boat, is he like hooked his feet onto the side, or is he?
Have like obviously there's like seats across it, so you could lean over, hook your huge platforms underneath the sea and not fall off the edge. That the decanter of endless water is out now, so you can make another action if you want to.
Seeing that it's run out, but seeing that the concept kind of worked, Mo is gonna just finger blast some Eldritch blasts underwater at the back. Just try to get some more propulsion out of me.
So fun D&D fact, Eldritch Blast can only be cast if you are targeting it at a creature. It specifically says in the text that you can only target a creature with it. You can't just point it at something random.
Perfect. Mo tries to do that, and it does not work. And that's what Mo does.
All right. Okay. Next up is who? Oh, so who hasn't gone? I think Mortimer, you're up. Rowing is also an option.
Is there still one of the slimy boys on the oar?
Yes, the only one on your side of the boat is on your oar, and making its way up the handle towards you.
All right, he's going to try and kick it off the boat.
Okay,
So
roll me an attack roll.
unarmed strike. Unarmed strike with disadvantage, I guess.
Why would it have disadvantage?
I'm not proficient in unarmed strike.
Oh,
Or was that?
I don't think that
it's-
gives you.
No, it's just a thing you can do.
Yeah,
to
I think
punch.
everyone's good with unarmed strike because, like, just because I can't punch you well doesn't mean I can't
Hmm.
punch.
Well, I can't
That
kick well
unfortunately
either.
is going to miss though.
Whoa.
So that's everyone had a turn. The water around you, is going to start to churn. I will allow Ash and Mortimer to attempt to make basically you guys can make a shared athletics check, so a group athletics check between just the two of you. And if you can get more than 13, then I will allow you guys to make it to the shore.
Come on.
But if you don't, then more of them are going to hop onto the boat.
How far away are we from the shore again?
About 15 feet.
Would you allow Delphanius as technically a bonus action thing to use Starlight Step to
Yeah,
magically
absolutely. Yeah,
teleport?
that's fine, but you're leaving your friends behind.
That's fine.
Oh,
I
actually,
guess we
I don't
go
know.
with
This is
18?
18 plus 4 is 22. Divided
yeah,
by
okay.
2 is 11. So you guys don't make it to the shore before more of the slimes start to climb in. And also, Delphanius just leaves you behind.
You just see like a twinkle of astral energy.
Delphanius teleports to the shore as a couple more of these slimes are going to hop onto the boat.
I think Mortimer's going to see if uncovering the lantern does anything to drive them away.
You can
Maybe they
see them
don't-
much better now. They can also see you much better. Ash, Mo, what have you got?
Mo's gonna pull his head up from the side of the boat, see that Delphinius is gone, but not realize how, and go, "Oh no, they got him! Oh no!" And we'll try now steering at two of these creatures, and not really understanding his magic, but we'll try again, kind of being like, "Come on, Disco Devil!" And we'll throw out a couple more Eldritch Blasts, one at each of them.
Go ahead, roll me those attack rolls.
First one
That's
is
a hit.
Yep, definitely. That's going to be a miss.
And you can roll me a fumble roll, please.
Oh, of course.
Oh, still above a 10. If that was low enough, you would have blasted a hole in the bottom of the boat.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to do that. And damage, 4 force damage into one of them.
Yeah, cool. That's enough. Like you hit one of the ones that's on the lip of the boat, and even just that much force is enough just to knock because these are just little guys, right? You could probably scoop them up in a coffee cup, and have all of their liquid inside. So that's enough force to ping one of them off the side, and away from you.
Yeah, that'll be Mo.
Mortimer and Ash, you both have the ability to do something now before the slimes are going to start trying to bite you. You can row if you would like.
Yep. Same. Using my boot to try and, I guess, curb stomp it.
Okay, cool. Roll me attack. Because you're using your boot, you can still use your hands to row, so that's fine. That's a hit. You squish one of them, and it feels a bit like, have you ever stood on a water balloon and the tension holds at a certain point and then it just goes into nothing? That's sort of what happens as you stomp on one of them. Roll me your athletics check for rowing, and because you made another action, I'll just give you -2 to that.
17?
So 17, very nice. Veeps, you also can row, or you can make an action.
Mortimer's seen how useless he is at trying to combat these things. Is just going to row.
Okay, cool. Roll me an athletics check.
Mm-mm-mm. Ten total.
29 divided by, yeah, okay. You know what? Because you did it twice, you failed twice, which is the same as succeeding once. So your boat very slowly hits the sand on the shore of this little island, and you're able, and as it does, the little slimes all freeze, and then they back up and slink off the side of the boat and down into the water, leaving you the ability to disembark without being accosted.
Hey, you guys made it. What took you so long?
I'd start pulling the boat onto the shores. Guess if there's enough of an embankment for it.
Yeah, a wise move. It's a bit of a sandy beach. It's not exactly mud here. It's more more sand, maybe a little bit of clay. But yeah, you're able to pull the boat up by yourself. That's something that's fairly easy to do, and you're confident it's not going to float away.
Mo clicks his heels together and activates his boots of speed as some tinny sounding disco starts to play as he dashes into Delphanius to hug him. Oh my god, you made it. I was sure you were a goner. Oh, it's good to see you again, my friend.
I appreciate the concern, but can you please let me go?
Of course, I apologize. I would just, when you're starting to vibe with someone and then you think they've died, it's just a relief.
I have that feeling constantly.
So
I'm
here you are.
sorry.
Here you are on the shore of this unforgiving island, and you notice that ahead of you, just in this little space that you can get before the brush gets thick, there appears to be some kind of ruins here. So there's like, oh, you know what? I've written a thing for this. Yeah, there appears to be what looks like crumbled ruins of an old stone building here on this island. Some of the walls are still up, and some of them are like just essentially rubble.
Before
And
we
ahead of
move
you,
off,
I haven't got a token for it, but right about here, there is a small, silvery, glowing Yanti boy.
There's the ghost bar. I knew I wasn't going crazy.
I'll just
Well, not this
slap.
time.
Hang on, I'll just slap a token down so you can kind of see where it is. It's just going to be one of the tokens that we just used. Please don't read into that.
Can I make so we can all see it now, right?
Yes, everybody can see it, and he's
Can
looking
I
right at
make
you.
an insight check onto maybe insight? I don't know whether this is a ghosty boy or some form of figment of my imagination that I'm just seeing because I was told about it.
So you could tell from the fact that everyone else can see it that it's not a form of your like it's not your imagination. But if you'd like to try and identify what it is, you can roll a nature check.
Nature? Okay.
Am I able to do an insight check to see if this ghost boy seems particularly hostile or appears to trust us? Like what its kind of intentions are?
You may. With a 6, Ash, this is not something you've seen or heard of before. It kind of resembles a ghost, but also it looks wet.
Cool. Kind of like the ring girl, kind of like just drippy sort of
Um,
weirdness.
Not quite. Like the ring girl, I'd say her hair is like straight out the shower. This is probably someone who's like been walking around in a light drizzle.
Got a
Is
raincoat.
more of a
You need-
sheen than
You need
dripping.
a light raincoat.
Okay, you got a 14. You can ask me one question.
Oh. What is compelling this creature to lead us? Can I tell?
Uh,
Can I tell that much? Or is that too intense?
okay, what I'll give you for a 14 is that it's definitely intentionally leading you here. Like that is
Right.
like it pointed to the boat, it disappeared in a certain direction, and when you pulled up, it's standing there waiting for you. Why? I can't give you why for a 14. But there's definitely something more going on than you can see right now.
This is
Can I
one
wave to it?
mysterious ghost bar.
what's the ghost boy doing? Is it pointing or gesturing in any direction, or just standing there looking at us
He's just standing there looking at you.
menacingly?
Okay, only menacingly because he's incredibly out of place. If you saw the same kid, like without the silvery glow in the street, you just think that he was a weird kid.
Yeah, I'll give him a friendly wave. Hello. He seems friendly.
Oh, so I see the ghost boy wave back.
Yeah.
Can Delphanius just start kind of pointing and then draw his arm kind of around to see if the ghost boy reacts? Him
Yeah,
pointing.
you point, and the ghost boy points behind him, like he's pointing like this way, like back into the ruins.
Oh. Ah. I feel like we've got to go into the ruins. Thank you, little ghost boy.
He backs up a little bit, so he like kind of moves this way. And then once he's like here, he's out of your line of sight.
No.
I'm sure we'll see him again.
I hope so. He seems like a lovely little kid.
I don't know if I trust him.
I mean, he's I intentionally made him as creepy as. Well, I mean, I would swear right now, but whoever said he's a lovely little kid is wrong.
Yeah, Mo's and
Whatever the opposite of inspiration is for that.
usually
Disinterest.
in town when I wave at people, they spit on me. So he seems pretty good. He seems pretty nice.
My friend, that's a low bar.
I guess we go in.
Yeah. Delphanius is just gonna put his hands like in the pockets of his coat and just trudge through into the ruins.
As you take a step forward, you hear a voice. It appears to be a child's voice.
Well,
And it says, "I'm cold. Are you here for Mummy?"
yes. Where is your ma, child?
Mummy will be pleased. She was so angry at me.
What did you do?
I didn't do what I was supposed to.
And what were you supposed? I feel like I'm asking a lot of questions. You kind of gotta help me here.
There's no response.
Where is your mother?
Oh no.
And it was everyone that heard that, right?
Yes. Sorry, Veeps, can you ask that question again?
Sorry, I missed what the noise first of all, or the sound, the voice.
Oh, well, you want me to say what the voice said again?
All what I heard was I didn't do what I was supposed to do.
That was
Yeah,
it.
and then okay, I'm
And
asking.
then after that, Severin asked another question and there was no response.
Mortimer asks, "Where is your mother?"
In here.
Whoa,
Now, is your
whoa.
mother safe or is she warm? Cold as like you?
In here with me.
Where is here?
There's no response.
Did it sound like it was like sort of echoey from around, like kind of like all around, or did that's like voice come from like a pinpoint direction?
Look, it was coming from this direction, like it's coming from somewhere in the ruins, but it's
Cool.
also louder than it has any like rights to be coming from that small of a child.
Yep. Cool. Cool. Love that. Love it.
Okay.
Not creepy. Not creepy at all.
I feel like we need an agency meeting right now. This seems like it could be a very threatening situation. There might be a bit of psychic
Good luck,
violence.
guys.
We gotta huddle up, have a quick powwow.
I'll like scoop up Mo so he's kind of like, like sitting here, so he's actually like eye level.
You
I
got
appreciate it.
the bicep chair, best seat in the house.
Yeah.
I lean back. I appreciate it.
Okay, so this little spooky child might mean us some kind of harm. How are we gonna prepare for some kind of attack? Things have been attacking us a lot, more so than my other ventures.
Yeah, there's not as much skulking as you'd like, huh?
Look, this is a 40% decrease in skulking, and I'm not happy about it.
Put me in the front. I'm pretty tough. Just make sure that if I go down, you try to get me back up somehow.
Okay, the lady goes first. I'm happy
What
to
a gentleman.
later. People say
Can I
chivalry is dead.
Can I just ask each of you, one at a time, can you please give me your intelligence and wisdom scores?
Like the actual scores themselves.
Yeah, the numbers, not the pluses.
Dear numbers? Sure. Delphanius has a 10 to intelligence and a 16 to wisdom.
Thanks.
I am a
12.
9 to intelligence and 15 to wisdom.
12 for wisdom, 7 for intelligence.
Dumpster.
13 intelligence and 14 wisdom.
Okay, thanks.
Look, there's no problem in my mind that cannot be solved with disco. I think we go in there, I start a party. I've got a way to kind of, when music is kind of hypnotic? I've got a way to kind of get into the groove and get a lot of people into the groove. Because disco will never die. But I think it'll be fine.
You never stop
Okay.
saying that now, do you? Disco never dies. Is that like your catchphrase?
I mean, I suppose it's the closest thing to a catchphrase one could have, but I'm telling you right now, disco will never die. It cannot die. And Mo looks terrified as he says this.
And the prospect of it possibly dying.
Yeah, he looks so scared, like full flop sweat at the concept that disco might go out of fashion.
I will promise you, my small friend, if we make it out of here, I will play some of my finest disco cassette tapes.
I would appreciate it.
Okay, so the plan we got first is the lady and then the rest of us. Behind her.
Do we
I-
want
I
to go
thought-
in? I guess kind of got. Not so much guns a blazing, but do we want to be loud
Armed
and
and ready.
proud, or do we want to be stealthy?
Ooh.
I think they know we're here.
Well, like in terms of like trying not to, I guess, attract too much attention straight away if we don't need to,
Do you think
or
we
you
could-
just want to throw a party and see what happens.
The disco party might make that hard.
I think the disco party is always a good kind of, card in the back of our pocket. But
I
like, do you
think we should
could
open
trick
with the
these
disco
things?
party.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we could open with. Hey, I'm always game for disco. But I mean, also as well, a skill that I have because I need to be ready for any party. And you watch as Mo spins his disco globe and changes into like full Elton John level epic outfit. Like sequins, huge glasses, everything. He's like, I mean, you always got to be ready. But
What
also-
ability
Disco
is that?
still standing.
It is the Eldritch Invocation for Mask of Many Faces.
Oh,
to
very
disguise
nice.
self at will. But also I can do this, and I will make myself look like the ghost boy. So we
Very
could try like
nice.
trick it.
That's that's terrifying. Because the ghost boy is sitting on my shoulder still.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll change back to looking like normal Mo. Apologies. Didn't mean to give you a fright.
Now, one was bad enough. Am I able to go around the ruins to kind of do like a little scout?
Like all the way around?
Yeah. How long would it take to go all the way around? How big is?
You could probably get to around here, but any further than this, and it's really thick, like bushes, and there's no path through here. So once you get here, you can't really go any further.
Ah, okay. I will go that far and see what's happening.
I'll go with you. I don't want you going on your own.
Okay, so you two are over there.
Mhm.
I
Um,
assume I'm
you-
continuing to be carried.
Oh, Mo's over there as well.
No. I like when you changed into the boy, she like picked you up and like put you down on the ground. Like, no.
This wall here. So this, where's my measuring tool? This wall here that I'm pointing out, this is fairly solid. Like there's a few little like gaps in it,
Yeah.
but overall this one here is just like a sort of fairly flat stone wall that looks like it goes up about maybe a story and a bit, and then everything above that is crumbled. So you can't really see in anything from here, but you can see that like the ruin's only this big, and then anything past that is just all overgrown.
Okay, and you can see the top of the wall, like it doesn't hit a ceiling or anything, or like a roof.
Like where? No, sorry. I think I understand. There's
Yeah.
no ceiling, so it's only this part of the wall. And judging from the stone and stuff around, any ceiling that was once there is long since crumbled away.
You want me to quickly scour it and have a little nosy over it?
Ah, I was thinking the same thing. Can I take out some rope and the hempen from my invention kit and try to like?
Yeah. So, how are you climbing, Ash? Do you have monk scaling powers?
So
Nope,
monk stuff.
Both of you roll me athletics checks. It would only be like a 12 to get. Like you could jump most of the way, and the crumbled stone will give you plenty of footholds.
Now, could it be acrobatics if I'm doing an
No.
Okay, heck. Here goes another. Well,
I'd like to introduce you sometime to my friend Liz Parker, who plays Karen on my podcast, who's constantly asking me if all checks can be athletics checks because she plays a barbarian.
I'm the reverse of that.
So you can't quite scramble to the top. Takes you a little longer. You're only about halfway out by the time Ash is at the top. Ash, what you can see from your vantage point here, is here
That's some quality scaling. Good job.
in this spot right here. There appears to be a person, and they are standing in the corner, just like facing towards the wall. Like you can't see their face, but their nose is this far away from just touching the wall, and they're just standing there, pointed into the corner.
Is it
Oh, I've
the
seen
boy or
Holt.
is it another person that I can?
It appears to be an adult
Okay. Cool.
with
Then I'd
with
drop
black
back
hair.
down. I'd drop back down.
Okay.
Blair Witch Project.
Oh, we still have the mental thing. Does it work like group chat where everyone can hear the thoughts?
I
Or is
think
it just
it's
one?
That is a good
Or is
question.
it just one person you pick?
I think
First of all, has
either.
it been an
You should-
hour?
No, not
since I
yet.
did it?
It's
Okay.
been like 20 minutes crossing the river because you guys went so fast. Sorry, crossing the lake didn't take very long.
Okay. So reading it, it is chosen creatures can speak telepathically with you, and you can speak telepathically with them. So I think it's not a group chat as much as it's a straight DM with Delph.
Caster only.
You're a
Okay.
translator, basically.
Essentially. As if anyone's in peril, you can like, so long as you're within a mile, you can be like, help. What's the intention? So I think you can only tell me as I'm still trying to like climb up the rope, like.
I would tell the others that target is in and slightly to the east, standing in the corner. I would make sure that they move quickly and quietly, and maybe we all meet up around the front where we can see the entrance to these ruins. Do you mind relaying that message? Because I tried reaching out to Mo and to Mortimor, and I got no response. It was just like hold music.
Bum 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 bum. Please continue to hold. Bum 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 bum.
One of our service agents will be with you shortly. Calls are recorded for quality and assurance purposes.
Your call is important to us and will never be answered. Bum 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 bum.
I will hop down and then go back to the party and relay what I have heard from our monk friend is there. Real
You walk
creepy.
back over there, not telepathically doing it from where you are.
Oh heck. If you want, I can one by one.
These aren't trap questions. I'm just tracking where
No.
everybody is, and I
No,
just want to make sure that it's accurate.
Oh no, that's a good point. No, I think I'll hop back down, get my rope back, and then telepathically to where I know they're kind of standing by the shore, relay the message to Mort and then to my little friend.
Okay. You guys are aware of what Ash has seen. So Mo and Mortimer, you can make a move if you would like. I don't know why you're so scared to go in the ruins. Probably fine.
Totally fine. Nothing
Yeah.
there.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I would slowly make
I'm
my
a
way.
trustworthy DM.
I don't know if you just saw that message on Discord, but apparently a fuse has popped with Mo, and he will be back in 2 moments.
Oh, he totally has frozen, hasn't he?
He has. That's
I didn't
a great
even know.
pose to freeze on.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
Can you just thumbs up it so that he knows that someone's seen it?
Yeah.
I've well reacted.
Yes.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Why don't we just chill and wait till he comes back? Considering that it is
Can we
Mortimer and
continue
Mo
with the
who
whole
were about.
music?
Bum 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 bum. Please continue to hold. Your call will never be answered. Bum 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 bum.
You are 666th in the queue.
Bum bum.
Due to COVID-19, we have a slightly
I think-
smaller staff than usual. Please be patient.
Bum bum.
Please be patient,
bum.
and we will answer your call as soon as we can. Your call is important to us. Please continue to hold. Or, if you like, leave your...
bum 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 bum.
I like this royalty-free hold music.
Yeah.
Um,
I wanted to do one where it was like bum 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 bum. You may have noticed that this call will never end, nor has it ever truly begun. Are you in hell, or perhaps in some kind of
Purgatory.
purgatory? Perhaps you will never know. But your call is important to us. Bum bum bum.
Welcome back.
Okay, you're back.
My patron, I just had to have a chat. Quickly.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean,
We
fair.
We were just doing the hold music until you came back.
Highly appreciated.
Okay, so Ash, I can see that you've moved around the wall.
Yeah, I slowly started to make my way that way.
I am just going to make a rule that if you don't move your token, you are where your token is. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Mort and Mo, you have just received a telepathic message from the other two members of your party. Guys, can you go back to where you were just for a second, just because I want to just focus on these two for now. Not you two, the other two.
Okay.
Okay.
So Mort and Mo, you guys have received a telepathic message that there's the someone resembling the person that you are here to get is inside the ruins. What do you do?
Okay. Mort has got his silenced pistol out, and he's going to sort of see where he can be seen down the corridor without exposing himself too much.
Okay,
Mo
so
will
move yourself there.
follow in Lockstep.
Yep.
Mo will hold his disco ball up in the same way that I assume Mort is holding his gun. Try to be cool or like sneak behind him.
Like doing like the full gun pose, but just spinning the ball on the tip of the finger instead.
Yeah,
So
exactly. That's
Mo, are you with Mort?
Yeah, I'll just be in lockstep with him.
Okay, so yeah, that's fine. From the angle that you're at, you can't see what's been pointed out to you. You'd need to go. You'd need to go further around.
What do you reckon, Mort?
Can we
David?
can we see Ash and Delph?
If they are where their tokens are, then yes, you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
We would have
Okay.
just come around the corner.
I'm like, dunno, lol.
And that's why I started an agency with you.
Just be like, eyes on me, shush. Sort of start to be quiet-footed towards where I saw the figure.
Okay. Anybody else going in as well?
Yes, I will also be stealthy.
I'll start to move up.
Yes.
Oh, that's the wrong kind of roll. That's an even wronger kind of. I rolled the right thing,
Please
but
don't make skill checks unless I ask for them. Okay.
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 Mortimer's going to try and be sneaky then and go more towards the center of that corridor to try and see further down it.
Can you ping where you're trying to go?
Sure can.
Okay. You guys can all roll stealth checks now. Sorry, I've had players in the past that roll stuff, and then they're like, I'm like, okay, now roll, and they're like, no, I've
Miata.
already done it. I got a 19, and
shit.
you're like, oh, hang on a second, no, you didn't though.
Okay, would you want me to re-roll?
Yeah,
Would
so
you like
everyone
us-
roll their stealth checks from now. Sorry,
Oh,
I don't
thank
mean,
God.
I don't mean to be precious about it.
No, it's all
No
good.
worries.
I thought it was a bit cheeky pre-rolling.
I don't know why it's saying I have
Better
heavy
than
armor,
a
but
natty
anyway.
one.
Oh yeah, absolutely better than a natty one.
It was, oh yeah.
Mo's not going to roll.
Okay, that's fair.
He missed the memo that being stealthy was what we were doing.
Okay.
I must love that.
Please
Let's
relocate
take
your
it.
tokens where you'd like to be. everybody but Mo has managed to sneak quietly a bit closer. Mortimer, you staying put? Oh yeah, there you go. Okay. Ash, from the angle that you're at, you can see the woman standing in the corner just here. So you can see sort of through this little gap here. You can see the figure standing over here.
Mhm.
And you can smell like a weird, faint smell of sulfur.
Oh, well, no, that ain't good.
Yeah, as Delph smells that, he's going to ready 2 daggers just down by his side.
I would be flick with my bow staff, baton, just out, but like kind of behind the back, so it's not like sort of step around the corner one more slowly to see if, you know, any sort of presence nearby, like makes her turn around. What can I, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you step forwards a little bit more, just a little bit closer, and the figure has not appeared to move. Whether or not it has like not detected you, or whether it just doesn't care that you're there, you are not sure because you can't see its face. I just want to pause 1 second. I just have to send a very quick private message.
Ooh, secrets.
Yeah, I just got to do a real quick secret. So hang on a second. I just got to find the right person.
Is it me? Am I the drama? I don't think I'm the drama. Maybe I am. Sorry. Oh,
You
it's
were the
way too much
drama this
TikTok.
whole time.
So I've just sent
Mhm.
someone a message. So please check your DMs. Okay. And whoever that person was, can they please just reply to me in DM instead of publicly? Yeah. At the moment, there is. At the moment, nothing special, nothing major happening. The woman's still just sitting here. She's not moved.
I will very slow steps like towards her. And
And
if
Mo and Phineas, are you guys moving forwards as well?
Kind of around the outside. Around the outside.
from outside, I actually
Okay.
have my M&M tour shirt on underneath this, so
Nice, nice.
The answer to the question, by the way, rather than typing it, is you can just use a dice that you have on you. You can also use, D&D Beyond without having roll Beyond 20 active. I just want, or you can just do it publicly. It's fine. Like people are going to find out in a second anyway.
loading my way. And if close enough, just gently put a hand on the shoulder.
Sure. And Mo and Delphanius, you guys are like eyes locked on this. Like it's so very spooky that this woman's just standing in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the darkness, just staring into the wall. Yeah, you reach out and you touch the woman, and like the first thing that you notice is that she's a little slimy. Like there's like a mucus or something on her. And she turns around slowly.
Desiree.
And you hear a voice that says, I was expecting the memories of fame and fortune. Your sallow, pitying memories can still nourish me, though. Veeps, what'd you get for your wisdom saving throw?
I got a 9 total, and what the F is behind Mortimer on this map?
Yeah, what is the spooky thing?
Yeah, so you got a 9 total, so you have failed. So I'm going to go ahead and pop a ability in the chat. So you have failed against Eat Memories.
Oh no.
So you've failed the saving throw.
Mhm.
So now you take 4d8 psychic damage. So I'll roll that.
Whoa.
Oh,
Okay.
I didn't roll the
Wow,
damage.
Ow.
that's a big chunky.
That's a lot.
I'll just do
Oh
just
no.
48.
No, no.
Whoa.
No, no, no,
Those
no,
were really high.
no.
You take 27 psychic damage.
Big
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
and you
damage.
become memory drained until you finish a short or long rest. I've also
Mm.
added something to this, which is, can you please roll me a d8? Because I've created a memory drain table for which memory has been eaten.
Mhm.
Oh no.
This rules. I mean, it's
I rolled a
terrifying.
3.
This rules.
I'm
You
living for this so much.
you have had a terrible failure that you have struggled to carry has been eaten. It's just been removed from you.
It's a counselor. It's
Yay!
It's
Yay.
therapy. Guys will literally
I,
get
I rule at kicking slimes.
Well, tell us, what was the memory? What was the terrible failure that you forgot?
Well, the most recent one would be trying to kick the slime off the boat, so I did
Okay.
great.
Never happened. While memory drained, you must roll a d4 and subtract the number rolled from any ability check or attack roll that you make. Each
Mhm.
time your memory drained beyond the first time, the dice size increases. Unless
Wow.
you become conscious for an hour. When an Obelix causes a target to become memory drained, the Obelix learns all the languages the target knows and gains all proficiencies except for saving throw proficiencies. So what
Mm.
happens, like the experience that you have, is this red
Mm.
goop just like wraps itself around your entire head, and you can feel it like up your nose and in your eyes, and your brain goes like fuzzy for a second, and then it just recedes.
Mm.
Meanwhile, all of you are looking at this woman, and it's definitely Desiree. The tiara is there, but her eyes are like unfocused. She's not looking at you as much as she's like like you get the feeling that even though you're right in front of her, it doesn't feel like her eyes are fixed on you. They're just looking ahead. And she says to you, "Delicious. I wonder what you'll taste like." And then the simulacrum of Desiree Foxwell starts to melt. And
Ma'am.
around you,
Ma'am, you can't go melting. We're trying to save you, and you're melting over it. Aye.
those annoying little slimes from before
Oh god
start to
dang it!
seep themselves out of the ground. And before you know it, your hand is just the simulacrum of Desiree has melted into nothing, and this like single like gossamer tether that was attached to her that you'd not noticed just recedes itself back into the ruins. As all of these slime creatures at once in unison begin coming after you. Roll for initiative.
Ooh.
Oh, hang on, I gotta clear it first. Remove all turns. Hang on, don't roll yet.
No,
Or I had to clear all the turns first. Okay,
it's
now
all
roll
good,
for
it's all
initiative.
good. If it makes you feel better, I did not roll within the system itself.
Okay, natural 20.
Is that the fifth one?
I think maybe even the sixth. There's been so many.
How many
Five.
do you remember?
Just wondering, the -4 on ability checks, is that like an initiative roll as well?
Yes, because initiative is an ability check.
Cool. Well, I got a grand total of 0 for initiative.
Never seen
Oh
that before.
boy.
I actually am not 100%. So, reminder that you have to select your token to get into the initiative order.
Ah.
So Severin, you. I'm pretty sure I can edit it once you get in there. So, like, just make sure you get yourself in there, and then I'll edit it to be your proper score.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So. Do, 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 do,
Doop, doop, doop.
do. Yeah, I had 0 before.
Sorry, hang on. I'm just trying to get these little guys into initiative. Why is it not? Did it do it that time? Okay, and then I'm gonna edit yours to be 0. And then descending order. Okay, here we are. Can you see who's at the top? Because I've got something in the top that's not technically on your layer, and it's grayed out for me. Who's for you guys? Whose turn does it look like it is?
Mo.
McCloud.
Okay, it's not Mo McCloud's turn.
Okay.
The first thing that's going to happen is, sorry, I have to keep changing layers, so I have to make sure I can click on stuff.
Oh,
Unseen to the rest of you, the outer obelix is going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, and then it's going to. Mortimer is the only one who saw it. It's like a big, weird, red, veiny clump of slime, like much bigger than the other ones. And it like disappears around the corner away from Mortimer, vanishes from sight. The rest of you don't even know that it's there. Next up, Mo.
Okay. Mo, seeing these slimes pop up again, is going to do what Mo does, and is going to get the party started and shoot some Eldritch Blasts. I will shoot one at this one, and at this one. Do I
Go ahead and
roll?
roll me some attack rolls.
Do I roll at disadvantage if I'm engaged with one, even if I'm shooting at other ones?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, cool.
I
think
will
it's-
have to double. No, I don't think so. Like, the only reason you would have disadvantage, would be if you like couldn't see it or like for
'Cause
whatever
I know
reason it was.
sometimes if you're doing like a ranged attack while in melee combat, you can be
Oh, that's if you're only targeting one that's within 5 feet of you. If you're
Cool,
shooting
yeah.
at other ones, yeah.
then it's fine.
Yeah, I
That's
don't.
fine.
I've never played with that rule before, so I'm happy for you to just roll normally.
Sweet. So the first one sorry, I shouldn't have rolled them like that, but that's a 20 and a 24 to hit.
Slow.
Both of them hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay, amazing.
And would you mind pinging again which ones you're targeting?
Yep, it's this one here and that one there. So for the lower one, this one, it will be 9 force damage. And for the one above, it's telling me that it's doing it. Oh no, sorry. I tried to do that wrong. Yeah, 9 as well. Bang,
Okay.
bang. Let's
Both
go.
of them take a fairly solid hit, and little bits of them like splash off as they go. Anything else you'd like to do with your turn? Movement, bonus action.
Yeah, I will bonus action, click my heels together and go. If I'm gonna start this party, you guys can't. You're not invited. Honestly, it'd be bad if you're in and amongst it. And I will, bonus action dash, which will be an opportunity.
Oh, you're going to
attack.
take an opportunity attack from this one. It's going to be a pseudopod attack. That's a 14 to hit.
14 is my AC.
So you'll take 4 bludgeoning and 1 psychic damage. Is it
Cool.
sort of like almost like wax, like grabs onto you and you like peel a little bit of your skin off, getting away from its grip?
Ouch.
It's like a psychic leg wax.
Yeah, cool. I will
Chesh
take
felt
that 5
that.
damage. And I will.
that's
end
the
my
real
turn.
psychological terror.
We found
The
it.
fact is that I know, like, psychologically right now, I know what that's like. So I feel like I just took that 5 psychic damage, you know?
I can make that the case if you want. I am the DM, so I could do that if you like.
Transfer the
Make
damage.
it so it waxes my leg.
No, make it so that you take 5 damage.
Okay.
No, I'm not
Look,
going to do
Lisa.
that to you. That's too mean. I backed down before you withdrew your bluff. Mo, anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
I will end my turn.
Cool. You get back to Mortimer, and he seems like out of it. Like he's like kind of swaying, and while he's still standing, yeah, like Veeps right now, he seems out of it. Like his brain's a little bit scrambled.
You all right, friend? And I kind of try to like shake him a little bit before I move him.
Next up is all of these little guys. So these two over here are going to roll against Ash. Sorry, these two over here are going to roll against Ash.
Mhm.
Sorry, I keep forgetting to not close the sheets. First one, 22 to hit.
Yep.
Second one, 18
Yep.
to hit. First one, 8 damage. Second one, 10 damage.
Jeez. Ouchie.
They're rolling very well. I did not expect that first attack to hit you so hard, Veeps. I'm sorry that you already have 4 HP left.
It happens.
It does happen. I think that a crit 6. Hi, baby. What are you doing?
Pet.
Yeah, cat. Over here, one of them, this one here is going to like just slide itself through the wall. And this one here is also going to come up and they're going to do attacks against Delphanius.
With disadvantage.
Both of them have disadvantage?
It's if I get hit that disadvantage drops, so I'd say
Okay.
roll them individually and
So the first one is 7 total.
it does not.
Second one is 12 total.
Still does not.
You're able to dodge. This one here is going to 5, 10, 15 and go for Mo.
Ah,
That's a 10 to hit, Mo.
it misses.
Okay, next up, Ashranti.
Cool. All right. I'm going to smack the one north of me first. With the quarterstaff, double-handed, 14 to hit.
14 hits.
Cool. Damage. So that was 11 bludgeoning damage to that one.
How do you squish it?
Dope.
Oh.
And then quarterstaff to the other one then. 16 to hit
16 hits.
with 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh. Yep. You kill one of them, you pop one of them, and the other one takes a big hit from you but doesn't die.
I'm going to try and, I guess, punch it then.
Cool. Go ahead.
That's not going to work. With an 8, I assume.
Yeah, 8 unfortunately does not hit.
That is amazing. Love that for me.
Is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn? Movement? Any movement?
No, not at this time.
Cool. Delphanius, you're up.
Okay, as a bonus action, can I disengage, please? And then
Yeah, go ahead.
5, 10, 15. And then make one swing with one of my psychic blades. Do I get advantage? Or do I
Against this one?
just get sneak attack? Yes.
So this is, you could claim flanking on this one if you want.
I will claim flanking on that one, please. And then that is, I think, because it's not green, I'd say a dirty 20.
That's a dirty 20 that hits, and that is enough damage to kill it. So go ahead and describe the way that you like sort of run past it and take it out.
So as I run away from the two pseudopod kind of things at the top there, which I'm trying to ping, and I swear I will figure out how to do it before the
Hold
end of
down
the
your
game.
mouse button.
Ah ha ha ha. See, I knew I could do it. As I run away from them, they try to do a pseudopod, but Delphanius is just too quick. He's like, oh, nope. Goes, and then I'm going to say kind of slides a little bit through this kind of swamp, and then just curves out with one of the psychic blades while it's focused on my small big-booted friend.
So that one that was more than enough damage to take that one out. Yeah, anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
15, 20, 25, 30. I'm just going to put myself there like, my friend, you do not look so good.
Cool.
Is
Mortimor.
he okay? Is he okay? What happened?
I don't know.
Mortimer is
Well,
going to...
so a couple of things happen. First
Yep.
of all, your thoughts begin to clear, You still have the penalty, but you're now able to move and behave as you would. You also know what happens to you. And the second thing is, at the end of your turn, you can re-roll your initiative to get a different spot from 0.
Okay. So the first thing that Mortimer is going to do is, I guess, shoot one of these little buddies.
These little friends.
Probably little friends. This one
Are you
here.
sure that's what you want to target?
Now that you say it like that, maybe not.
I just thought maybe, just rechecking your surroundings and having another look at the map is always nice.
Yep. Do I have line of sight towards that one?
Towards the one you just pinged?
Yes.
There's like a pillar here. If you
Uh-huh.
moved 5 feet either side, so you'd have to get around this pillar. If you move 5 feet either side, then you would have line of sight on it.
Okay. All right then. Well, he will move. Mortimer will move 10 feet that way. Now with this, how clear is that line?
That's a clear line of sight.
Awesome. Okay. Mortimer will try to shoot this buddy. Where are we? Cool. So I will just roll the attack, and then I'll roll a d4 to subtract off that. And that is a 1. Yay!
Roll me a fumble.
Yay! So we're going d20 high.
Yeah, less than
hunting
10,
for-
and then depending
yeah.
how close to 1 you are, your fumble will get worse.
Do I do the 1d4 modifier on this as
No,
well?
not to this. This isn't a skill.
Yay!
Oh no!
Oh.
I'm gonna say that with a 3, you shoot Mo. Your
no.
vision's like a little blurry, and you actually do hit him with one of those bullets. So go ahead and roll your damage.
Max damage!
Where do you hit him?
Oh no.
Where on his body do you hit Mo?
Does he have a tail? No, can I shoot one of his disco shoes? No, can't do that.
No.
It wouldn't do
Yes, of
damage to
course.
him.
Yeah.
So unless you want to
okay.
count it some kind of like psychic damage where he's really, really, really attached to his shoes, which I relate to. I have a pair of shoes I spent $400 on, and if they took a bullet, I would take damage.
I would also suggest, since I find it very funny, that you could shoot one of Mo's eyes out,
Ooh,
and then he could just have a disco blindfold forever.
a disco glass eye.
Yeah, like a disco ball glass eye would be dope as hell. And
Okay,
because
all right.
it's
As
really
long as you're
big
okay with
range,
it.
you could still spin.
I'll tell you right now,
This is-
man. You can shoot him wherever you like.
This is a super villain origin story. Sure, it'll give him some street cred, yeah? He gets grazed in the eye. For 10 damage.
Yeah, Mo screams in pain. So
Sorry, Mo.
At the end of your turn, you may now re-roll your initiative if you'd like to be different than 0.
Okay, let's have a go. Oh, I need to do the thing, don't I?
Yeah, it's still -4. Or still minus D4.
Yep, I need to click on me.
Oh, I don't because you're already in the queue. I don't think you do need to click on you because I'm just going to edit it.
Okay. So I had an 18 before, -2, and plus Dex is 3, so 19.
Cool, 19. All right, I'll
Total.
move you to 19.
Thank you.
And then I'll change the order again. You have now got a new place in the queue. It is the adult Oblix's turn. Ash, you're looking around. You're like punching these little guys, and you turn around, and this like wall of red veiny slime has just like tidal waved up at you without you really even knowing that it was there. Can you please roll a wisdom saving throw?
Do we all see this?
Anyone who's got line of sight could see it.
13.
The DC is unfortunately 15.
Is this line of sight?
Cool.
So you're going to take 15 psychic damage,
She's unconscious.
and you're going to lose a memory. So can you go ahead and roll me a d8?
Yeah, sure. 4.
A great success you base much of your pride on.
Oh no.
It would probably have to be one of the first time that she managed to get a really good sparring strike on her dad while training.
It's gone.
When she first learned how to deal both the hand of harm and with like the hand of mercy stuff. That memory of how like when it finally clicked for her while she was sparring with her dad. That's
Yeah, that's now gone. You don't remember that ever happening. And the Oblix is then going to. So you now have the same memories consumed. You now have the same memories consumed status as Veeps has, as Mortimer has. We've just hit 10 o'clock, so I would like to give you guys the option to. We can wrap things up soon. I realize this fight is not going well, so we can end it. We can end it without a TPK. We can also end it without a monster kill, and instead do a narrative end, or we can keep playing. Because I said that we would be here for 3 hours. We've now been here for over 3 hours, so I want to give everyone a chance to go to bed if they want to.
And I'm happy with a narrative end.
Mm.
A long, dark monologue.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that too. I've got to work in the morning.
Yeah, fair enough.
Unfortunately.
I will say, since it's Mo's turn next, he is gonna try cast Hypnotic Pattern to start the disco on this creature. Which could be quite a fun narrative end of like they are stuck. If they fail, they are stuck disco dancing, and we drag Ash out of here.
Okay. So if Ash, I also value your vote. So if you would like to fight to the bitter end, that is one thing. If you were happy for me to begin,
I'm happy to go with the
things up.
majority.
Okay. Things look bad. You happen to see Ash, your friend Ash, the tough one amongst you, head just gets like consumed by this red slime, and when it withdraws, she looks like Mortimer did a moment ago. She looks lost, and then she just passes out. She just falls unconscious. Mo, seeing this, you draw the inner funk from within you, and your eyes light up, alternating neon pink, green, yellow, blue, green, pink, yellow, blue, and there's this feeling of a little more action and a little less conversation about to happen. The sky above you lights up as though the aurora borealis is here, and this swirling, rotating disco ball appears in the air above the ruins. And when the little points of light bouncing off of it touch the slimes, they freeze for a moment before sinking slowly back into the ground. The large one, the big one, two creatures like walk out of it. One of them, Mortimer, and the other, Ashranti. They both look at you and say in unison, "I am full." And you don't look that tasty. You may leave. And again, also just like shrinks back into the wall behind her, having refused the remaining memories that were offered to her. The other two, like the two simulacrums of your party members, bend down and just over here. So hang on, I'll get rid of you. So the remaining simulacrums of your party members bend down and pick something up. One of them collects Ash's corpse. So the Ash collects Ash's corpse and just drags it to the edge of the ruin. And the other brings another corpse and also dumps it at the edge of the ruin. It's the body of Desiree that appears to have been eaten beyond repair. Hey. You look around and realize that your DM probably didn't balance this properly, and could have done a better job of creating a combat that was winnable. And then that thought disappears. What even was that? That's probably nothing. It's probably an effect of the memory-eating monster. No, I chose.
Desiree may be dead, but Disco will never die.
Yeah.
Yes, Disco survived the combat.
Delphanius and Mortimor being the two larger ones, you guys collect up the two bodies. You manage to stabilize Ash and get her on the boat. But Desiree's too far gone. She was never savable. But you have recovered her corpse. And you resolve to never return to this island until you're a much, much higher level and have fire spells and healing spells and other things of that nature.
Yeah, what was that island? I never going there again. 1 star.
Another successful outing for Delphin, Darkwind, and associates.
3 days later, the four of you, dressed in the finest clothing you have available, attend the funeral of Desiree Foxwell. Fawn gets up and speaks about justice with a hollow look in her eyes, and true to her word, pays you each well more than 2 months' rent. Mo, it sounds from the way you've described your character that you don't live in a house and therefore don't pay rent. So for you, it's just a large amount of money. You don't have that measuring stick to use on this.
Mo would give it back and go, put it to making that album.
She doesn't accept it back. So if you don't want it, it'll be left on the table for some passerby to take.
Mo goes to the closest casino, puts it all on black, and loses.
So yeah, Mo takes his winnings, goes to the nearest casino, and loses it all. Delphanius and Veeps, what do you do with the experience and after the situation that you've just had?
Oh, definitely a strong drink
Hmm.
of some kind of dark liquor that he can get his hands on. It was a lot. With the money, I think have we sorted out an office? Was that on our list of things to do?
Office and a car.
Oh yeah, the car.
Yeah, you've got enough to put a down payment on an office and hope that jobs will come in and help you to keep paying your rent. And you find another detective agency who has a car but can't maintain the upkeep on it, so they want to sort of like share it with another detective agency. They mostly operate during the day, so it's going to be just fine.
We can turn our business into a taxi service and detective agency. How about that?
I mean, I used to be a taxi driver. I could probably do it again.
And Ash, you awoke back at your home after the horrifying experience of the Obelix being inside of your brain, and it's not something that you enjoyed. One of your proudest memories has been replaced with a fairly distressing trauma, but you are glad that the people whom you adventured with brought you home and made sure you were safe, and yes, checked in on you once in a while. A few A few, items appeared at your door, and you're able to tell from the quality of them that the rancid soup was probably from Mo. The hot chocolate, probably one of the detectives. Beef sandwich, that might have been your dad. Hard to tell. But it did seem like that there were people keeping an eye on you, and you were able to make it to the funeral. In Ludus and Luso, a win feels rare. And a clean case, even rarer. But you're all alive and relatively well, and you feel a little tougher than you were when you walked into tonight's special this week. You take some time to meet up for a drink that weekend and discuss your experience, and you each wonder to yourselves if these allies you have made will work with you again in the future. And up at the reservoir, on an island in the middle of the lake, the Obelix sits and waits for its next victim. A copy of... Hang on, I need to find the full name. A copy of Ashranti Embers is formed and walks out onto the water, trailing a small grossammer thread behind her, just waiting to attract the next victim to the island. The end. That's it.
Oh,
Guys,
that
I
was
didn't
awesome.
mean to hand you a loss. That's not what I meant to do. I thought you were going to win.
I love
I still had full hit points, but I became a sleepy boy.